Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of Troubles in Otari, a Pathfinder beginner box adventure. We're running through the adventures written specifically for this beginner box, and you could get that right now on Paizo.com if you wanted to. It is a fantastic introduction to Pathfinder, and you've been waiting for an opportunity to get into it, or you have some friends you want to teach the system to, this box makes the perfect entry point. But with all that said, let's say hello to our heroes before we dive into our adventure tonight. Hello, heroes. How you doing?
Jam.
We've got Xander playing Ingot, the dwarf wizard. Gabe is playing Thee, an elf rogue. Michelle is Gristle, the human fighter with a great sword. And Katie Wilson playing Waverly, a human cleric who is currently out of spell slots and surrounded by badly wounded companion. And I'm sure it's all going to turn out fine. But speaking of spell slots, wow. How is everybody's week? How y'all doing? How are we? How's it going?
Oh my god, I've never thought of that having a great sword joke until literally just now, and it's gonna plague me for the rest of the week.
Are you kidding? I've been saying that every episode.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It doesn't. Most of the stuff you say, like, I don't think there's a pun.
Oh
to
my
it.
god!
I just don't pay attention to things you say.
Gristle is
not pay attention
weird.
to what I say.
Gristle is weird. No, because Gristle says nonsense.
This is true.
So literally, now I'm going to say that to everybody that I know has already heard the joke, but it's too late. Great sword. They're going to be like, shut up, Gabe. And I'm like, this is for me.
Yeah.
My week just got a whole lot better, to be honest.
Glad I brought you joy 3 weeks later.
Oh gosh.
Well, I think it's about time to play some Pathfinder.
Cool.
So
Let's
get into it. Tamily Tandervale is getting nervous. The adventurers she hired to go down into the basement have been gone for an awfully long time. How deep are the tunnels that run near the breach in her basement wall? Did they find the fish thieves who stole her stock? Should she hire a second group of adventurers to go down and check on the first group? Tamily squeezes her eyes closed and counts backwards from 10. Everything's going to be fine, she says out loud before reaching 0. Surely the adventurers are going to be okay. One had the shiniest armor she has ever seen. How could anything bad possibly have happened to her? Below Tamily, in the far reaches of an ancient forgotten ruin, the hero in the shiniest armor that Tamily has ever seen lies in a pool of her own blood. Her leg is a mess of shredded meat from the spikes of a vicious trap that nearly took the limb clear off. Her companions are nearby, bleeding from deep spear wounds, surrounded by the dead kobolds who made them. It's been a bit of a long day at work for you all. So what do you do?
I continue to lay down and bleed. That's what I'm going to do.
Indeed, you are still at 0 hit points and unconscious. So, but stable. That's an important thing. You are not actively dying. Unfortunately.
Passively dying.
I would like to perform a medicine check upon dear Gristle.
Are we able to all
Indeed,
come
you
together?
You can treat wounds. Normally, treating wounds is DC 15, so you just roll a medicine check. If you succeed, you're going to get to restore 2d8 hit points to her. It's pretty good and useful. It just takes 10 minutes of time to do. If you critically succeed by getting 25 or higher, you can restore 4d8 hit points.
Just missed it. That's going to be a 23.
Ooh. Well, it's still 2d8 hit points. It's going to bring her above 0. That's going to take you about 10 minutes. Again, you're working on it, bandaging her up, stitching up the wounds, putting some Bactine on it.
11.
At the end of that, you're going to bring Gristle back above 0. Your eyes will flutter open. You're ready to go. Is there anything that Thea and Ingot would like to be doing during those 10 minutes?
Yeah, Ingot is going to take a look at this chamber that they're in, right? It's the area that was protected by the traps.
It does. Yeah.
He's going to mark off sort of an area that could be protected, and sort of mark that with these small stones.
Okay, great.
He surveys around and looks at Thea and says, "Ingot thinks perhaps we should rest. This is a procedure."
Oh,
That
yes.
is a good idea.
Yeah, if you're all tired, that's fine. I can keep going all day.
No, you need to rest. Stay right there. Don't move.
I mean, if
not
you really want to
like-
keep going,
Yeah, I'm not laying down because I want to. I'm just waiting for y'all to make a decision.
Ingot could use a rest for magical purposes.
There we go. Let's do that then.
good
Do you
plan.
think it's safe to sleep down here?
And we look at he looks at Thea.
Most likely, there's nothing behind us. We could easily bar the way ahead of us, and we could just go back through that room, shut the door. The kobolds do not seem very smart. And we can always arm the trap again.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you guys had left it deactivated, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you do know how to arm it again. And I believe you had determined that it can be rearmed. It just takes like a minute to do.
Mhm. This is wise.
Did someone escape us or no? I can't remember.
I think
Yes.
Big rat. Or
Yep.
the big something person.
Lizard,
Kobold?
kind of.
Lizard?
Yeah,
I
kobold.
forgot. Yeah, let's just like take a knee and you guys can get all your spells situated and have a little napsies. Sounds great. So
Yes.
yeah, let's just close that door.
Yeah, we can follow Thea's advice and go back to the other room.
You mean the room with the secret room or the bigger room with like the guy holding the stuff?
The secret room, like the one right
The little-
before
okay.
the one we cranked.
Yeah. And then Ingot can go ahead and get started on arming the traps too, but we'll wait for Waverly to finish the medicine.
Don't get it before she leaves the room and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
she's dying on the ground.
Listen, we've hit
Quick.
ourselves with these traps so many times.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that so you, Gristle, you know that the trap that you had armed in that room was the spear that comes out of the wall. Very effective against the kobolds. The trap that you found was in fact something that you presumed to have been set by the kobold that escaped. It was a craftier foe than your other standard kobolds, and he had actually set those traps while his minions were throwing themselves upon your blades. So, giving the room a once over, you find that there are actually there's another spike trap that had been set near the staircase, and if you wanted to, you could. It looks simple enough to disarm and extract, and you could have this spike trap, but of course, if you messed it up, well, don't do that. That's up to you. That's totally up to you guys whether you want to do that or not, or just leave it where it is. You know where it is. You mark it off with the stones, and it's safe to move around. That's for sure.
Crystal crawls back into the little. I get up and I limp very slowly over to the room without saying anything, and I just kind of like lay down and throw my cape over my head and just like fall asleep.
Crystal's done.
Out.
I'm going to try and disarm it to take it, because I feel like
Okay.
it's better to try before we rest if it
Yep.
goes wrong. If I do it after we rest and
You
it
can
goes
recover.
wrong, that's worse.
That's tactical. That's a tactical
Yeah.
decision. Okay. To disable it with your thieves' tools would just be a thievery check.
All right.
Is there any way that I could assist with this? Maybe because you said it
Are you
was
trained at all in thievery?
not in thievery, but in stonework.
Yeah, unfortunately, with this particular snare, if you were trained in it, you would be able to help him out. But unfortunately, you
Moral
could watch
support.
and observe. But
Yeah.
Watch and learning it. So that's a 16.
16. You are able to disarm it. It doesn't. It looks like a fairly simple spike snare type of deal. Doesn't take too much work at all. You now have that trap. You could, if you wanted to, set it. It takes 3 actions to set, so it's a full round to set it. But once it's set, it will deal 2d8 points of piercing damage to anybody who walks upon it. Very nasty, which is why it was not good for Gristle to walk.
Yeah.
Are there any torches on the wall or anything like that?
It does not seem that the kobolds are in need of light. You've noticed that they don't really keep it lit. So there are some like stubs of old torches that look like in the damp air and time have become mostly useless. Your best bet is honestly that ever-burning torch that you found back in the crypt. That one is a much more reliable light source.
Can we cook with it?
It's specifically no. You can't cook with it because it doesn't get off heat.
Dang it!
So that's a good point. You could probably, if you make a survival check, see if you can gather up enough burnable material that would make a little cook fire if you wanted to.
And Ingot does have an adventurer's pack, which I believe has flint and steel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have the same thing, but I am having a snooze. But if anyone remembers it, then never forget it.
It's a negative on burnable material.
Yeah, I mean, everything's so damp and wet and like ruined, and it's really, there's just not a lot of burnable material down here.
Did no one else bring rations?
Oh, Ingot has brought rations.
Yes.
And it's just like a solid, thick bar of some brown.
Flavored brown. Oh boy.
Waverly's is like overly organized, where it almost looks as if like each piece of her meal is like separated perfectly and perfectly portioned out and like folded nicely, and she just like kind of pulls some paper back on it and unwraps it.
You have adventurer bento boxes?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic.
Ingot will break some of his bar and come over towards Gristle and hold some out to her if she's still sleeping though, right?
Gristle rolls over and goes, "I'm not putting that in my mouth. I'm perfectly fine." And I kind of like I'm like laying face down on the ground, so I kind of just like lean backwards into like my pack, and I feel around for the jars that I have somewhere back there, and I pull out like a jar of pickled fish. I'm just laying on the ground, like kind of like shoving them in my mouth sideways.
Oh, okay. Ingot will just take that in and leave.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna pull out.
Smell is a lot.
Pull out my rations, which are also fish, but mine is instead baked. Gristle, are you just, as long as you're happy, I guess.
Pickling fish is an ancient tradition that has been handed down to my fathers from their fathers.
Are you good at it?
I think they're good at pickling fish, I guess. I'm good at eating it.
It does take strength to eat that.
Good stuff. I'm not gonna eat that brown stick you got there, Ingot, but I suppose maybe dwarfs eat weird stuff. I don't know.
It's so good for you, so healthy.
It's just that looks like you're eating dirt, buddy.
I mean, your name.
Can't
never
promise
mind.
that's not involved.
That's true.
Protein is very important.
I also think that Waverly would find like a corner of the room and like roll out like her little blanket or bed, that she has.
Bedroll.
Yeah, bedroll. And it's just kind of like very perfectly, like everything has like a place. Like she like puts her bag down and she kind of like lays out all of her books, and it's just way too weirdly organized and OCD.
I imagine that you have one of those, like, you know how in the Sky Mall catalogs, there's always those like travel organizers, like a wood stand for your shoes and like a bar of soap and like all this stuff.
Unnecessary.
It's just...
Oh my gosh. Did you say Sky Mall?
Yeah, of course. Who
Fantasy
doesn't know
Sky
about
Mall.
Sky Mall? Fantasy Sky Mall, that's right.
Fantasy Sky Mall.
Yeah, I think
That's good stuff.
taking an interest in how Waverly is set up, despite what he had been eating, Ingot is setting up as well, and you can see there's a layout of crystals that he has, and there are different types. And he lays open his spell book in front of him, and he sits cross-legged and goes into sort of a meditative trance.
Awesome. So just to get into the mechanics of resting and what this is all going to do for you, if you want to rest long enough to do what is called your daily preparations, which is where you get recover spells and hit points and whatnot, it's typically 8 hours of rest. If you're in a dangerous space, say like a kobold-infested ruin beneath the city, you can set a watch, and unlike previous editions, your rest period doesn't specifically have to be uninterrupted sleep. So, for example, I know with spellcasters, you don't have to manage the watch schedule or simply have spellcasters not participate in order to get their spells the next morning. If it's dangerous, you can set watches. As long as you're not doing anything especially strenuous during the 8 hours, it's all good. You can take watch, you can participate in all that. Doesn't affect like whether you regain spells or hit points the next morning. Just letting you know that when you finish, basically when you all wake up in the next morning, you're going to get some hit points back, and that is going to be equal to your level times your constitution modifier. Obviously, that's not a lot, but keep in mind that you can, as Waverly has already demonstrated, you can make medicine checks with some healer's tools to regain a lot more hit points. You can also regain spell slots, and when you regain those spell slots, you can choose to memorize new spells if you know different spells, you want to switch them out and do all that jazz. That's all stuff you can do the next morning. But otherwise carry on. I don't want to interrupt your interactions. I was just letting you know the mechanics of what's going to happen here.
Katie, how much did you heal Gristle for?
11.
11, okay. Thank you.
That was a good check.
An 8 on one of them.
All right. Well, I'm asleep. Does anyone else have anything to do before we make? I guess I will help do the night guard also.
No, I think Waverly would go to sleep.
Waverly is out. Just so you know, Waverly, you made a medicine check on Gristle. You were successful, which is great. But when you use treat wounds, the target becomes temporarily immune to treat wounds for an hour. However, you can, if there's anybody else who's injured and who would be in need of hit points, while you're resting, like you can continue to treat other people. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not. But you can, basically once an hour, you can treat wounds on a person. You can also decide that, like, for example, if you're camping and you have like a long period of time, you can instead of taking 10 minutes, you can take a full hour. And if you do, you actually double the hit points that you restore with treat wounds. So. Oh,
I'm going to do that then before I go to sleep.
Sure. So who's your target for that one?
Who else is injured?
Ingot.
If you're looking at Ingot as he's meditating over his spellbook, you can just see a couple of light cuts. It's not really anything too serious, but.
Ooh, I rolled a 13 plus 7. 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
20. That's going to do it. Yeah. So now that you are sort of tucked away in camp and you have a lot longer, go ahead and roll and double your result because you can take longer to do it.
That's a 2d8, right?
2d8. Yep.
Right. That's 14. So 20.
Nice. That's almost double his hit points.
And you get to keep them. Kidding. Just
Temporary. No.
And
right.
When I look at Thee, is Thee feeling okay?
Yeah, Steve's good. He didn't get touched at all. There's probably like some dust on his shoulder. He's gonna.
Now Waverly will go to sleep.
Nice. All right.
I'd like to do another medicine check on myself to try to get myself up from 11 hit points if I can.
Yeah. Do you have healer's tools, or are you gonna borrow? You can borrow Waverly's if she's cool with that. It doesn't.
I have some.
Oh, nice.
I'm training
that
healing
interaction.
too. Yeah.
Cool. I borrow and I do medicine check on myself.
All right.
I'm not bad at it, but I'm not very good at it.
Just keep in mind if it does look like you could fail, failing is not a problem. But if you do critically fail by getting 5 or lower on the total result, you actually can deal 1d8 points of damage to yourself.
Okay,
So-
well, that didn't happen. I got a 15.
Okay, okay, 16. You actually managed to competently
I'm fine.
patch yourself up. It's going to restore 2d8 more hit points to you.
2d8. And then what is the rest? You said it's your level times your what?
Level times your Constitution modifier. So
What?
it's probably going to be 1,
Two?
2, or maybe even 3.
Okay, I see it. Yeah. My con. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. So I'm back up at 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm good. I'm full.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ingot's full as well.
It was a rough day. But you wake up the next morning feeling quite a bit better, refreshed. You guys make the spellcasters, Waverly prays for Sarenrae's divine guidance, asking her for some blessings for the day. Ingot studies his crystals, and you guys are ready to go. You know that there is a set of stairs that one of the kobolds escaped down into a deeper level of these ruins. Still somewhere down there. You have found a great deal of the fish, but there are some other mysteries that have arisen. For example, all of the kobolds that you have faced thus far were these weird, you haven't been able to determine exactly what, these like chips of stone or shell or something around their necks. And there's still obviously more of them somewhere around here. So what do you guys do?
Woo, rough night last night, huh? Hope you all managed to rest up and heal.
Crystal
I'm ready
is
for-
looking better.
Yes, thank you. I feel great. Thank you for whoever healed me. Pretty sure it was you, Waverly.
Yes, of course. Well, that is my job here, so I'm very happy to do so whenever you need.
Yes, great job on the assist.
Ingot owes Waverly thanks as well.
Oh, no, don't bother. And she's
Okay.
meticulously putting all of her things.
Gristle just like grabs all the random stuff that she's dragging out of her bag and just kind of goes whoop and throws it back in, ties a knot. All right. So I think we learned something as a team yesterday, and that was check for traps. Who knew?
Ah.
Oh, I think we
Yes.
knew.
Oh, do you have a question, Fee?
No, I knew.
Thee, are you taking the trap that we found here?
Yes.
Perhaps
Yes, I
we
am.
can use later.
Oh, I want to trap that kobold that did this. I think it'll be funny.
Revenge.
That
Oh,
too,
yeah.
yes.
We're gonna straight up murder him. That's gonna be great. Real
Oh.
exciting stuff.
Must we talk that way?
Well, I mean, we're not putting them to sleep. I feel like it'd be a shame to, I don't know how to say this, but we're not playing house here. So
Yes,
we're
but
doing real
every
adventuring
life
stuff.
is important, and it's very important that we honor each life, even if those who we are removing from this current world choose a darker.
Okay, let's go, everybody.
Let's go.
Beverly's gonna keep talking, so we better just keep walking.
Yeah. That is probably the best way I've ever heard. The euphemism for killing was removing them from this world. We're just removing them from this world,
Like a
putting them in a
chess piece.
different one.
Right. With all of my characters and not killing.
Well,
Running theme with me.
it's admirable.
Hey, it's great stuff.
Yeah.
You guys make it to the top of this dark spiral staircase. Begin heading down, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we
Is
should check for traps or something, right? Thieves.
I was just about to say, while you're moving through, remember that you do have those exploration activities that you could be doing. For example, if you want to be continuously checking for traps, using the search exploration activity is a great way to just constantly make checks. Though that does mean that it's either you're searching or you're stealthing. You do unfortunately have to pick one of them, but it's up to you how you want to roll that.
What would we like to do? Because be aware, someone seeing the traps does not require them to be the one to disarm it.
So we should all look, I guess, or
Yes. And Waverly has a torch which will give away our location for stealth anyway.
Depends on how far back I am.
I don't know. I think it might be possible to stealth with a torch, but it hasn't worked thus far.
Nope. Sure
Ingrid
didn't.
would like to see this.
I take about 20 feet of step back.
Yeah, you basically you keep yourself right at the edge of the light so that it doesn't give away your position.
He has
Okay.
disappeared.
Nope, he's just behind us over there.
Oh.
But okay, I will search for traps and then yell if I see anything, I guess.
Oh, okay. You can wave. I can see you.
The wind.
Me to wave?
It speaks.
Yes. If you yell saying, I found a trap, that alerts anything else that you found a trap. I can see you,
Oh.
Gristle.
Oh, I like. See, look, you like this communication. We talked about this. We're basically a team now.
Do not patronize me or I will let you walk into it.
I'm gonna tap Gristle and I'm gonna tap Thea on the shoulder, and all of a sudden they can hear each other's thoughts. I'm
Uh-oh.
gonna cast not hear each other's thoughts, but they can communicate through their minds.
Okay.
Message.
And so, Thea, what you hear in your brain is me saying, "No, I really didn't know I should not yell all the time for no reason. I don't understand not yelling. This is very confusing."
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Gristle. There's something that you've been doing that's kind of like really a bit confusing. You're doing this thing where you're like taking an assertion of what's going on, what's happening in the party, and it seems like we're not all really comprehending in a way that makes sense to us. I know that you have good intentions, but it just comes across as being a jerk.
Oh, your voice changed. That was crazy.
Yeah. None of you really know what I sound like at all, and that's what makes it funny to me. So I'm gonna talk in a voice that really might get on your nerves if you keep doing obnoxious things, Gristle.
I think I'm a great leader, and
Yes,
I think we're getting along. We're actually getting along better than we did at the beginning, so that's progress.
That's because
We're
you're
just sitting there like-
patronizing me, Gristle.
I know. I'm gonna turn to Ingot and kind of like smile and give a thumbs up. Oh, they must be having a wonderful conversation.
You just see our eyebrows going like,
Intense.
Also, Gristle, can I ask you a personal question?
probably not gonna like it, but go ahead.
That's
You're going
fine.
to anyway.
Would you consider yourself a smart person?
I think I'm average intelligence, maybe a little better than most people.
You know, I expected an obnoxious answer. I respect you a little bit more, Gristle.
I feel like you're obnoxious too, so
Yes, but that's because if I'm obnoxious, people leave me alone.
I should be more obnoxious so you leave me alone.
That's why I...
Hmm.
That's all I got. That's all I got. That was a good one.
Play Metal Gymnastics with me! We break eye contact.
Yeah.
Let's go down the stairs, huh? If we all agree.
Agreed.
Oh yes, yes.
I do hand signals.
He can hear you in his mind.
Just so you know, Waverly, the way message works now at this point is you can send a message to somebody that only creates sound for them, but you can't create you can't create telepathic links between other people. It's fine. It's funny.
was
So I'm
good.
certainly
Can you
no
imagine
worries
if-
here.
If
Just in the
Waverly is
future.
Waverly is the middleman for that.
Right.
Back and forth.
In
Yeah,
between.
can I cast it on me and both of them?
you can basically serve as the middle person
Oh.
between other people. Yeah, you can, because
But
you
they
can just
can't hear
continuously.
each other.
But they wouldn't be able to send direct messages to each other. They can send them to
Oh.
you,
So
then
those-
you can send them to that person.
Those
Okay,
responses
okay.
are going to be way nicer than either of us
Yeah.
will say.
Oh yeah. So Waverly translated that whole conversation, and basically it turned into like a kids' television show about friendship and togetherness.
Okay.
Fantastic. I know that I've got Thee stealthing about, avoiding notice for his exploration activity. We've got Gristle searching, I believe, making sure that there are no traps. Is there anything that either of you two, Waverly and Ingot, would like to be doing as you are moving cautiously down the stairs?
Ingot would like to be searching for enemies forward.
Yeah, you can be searching as well. That is no problem. It's going to give you 2 perception checks. 2 is better than 1.
Mhm.
And about Waverly. Yeah.
I think it falls under searching, but I would like to be sort of examining the walls, the floor, kind of not looking for traps, not looking for enemies, but looking for anything like hieroglyphics or hieroglyphs and anything that might pop out of the ordinary, something like a
Sure.
blue flame
That's-
torch.
That sounds a lot like more using the recalling knowledge as you're moving along, which basically means that as you're going, you can use religion, or if you have like a lore that you think would be appropriate, we can roll those. Instead of perception, you're just trying to find out like things in the area that might be interesting. You already did find, obviously, an important shrine to Abadar. There may be other things, so perhaps religion is the way to go with that and see if there's any other connections you can make as you're moving forward. Okay. So you've been cautiously making your way downstairs. I would love to I'm going to make a secret perception check for Ingot and for Gristle. So I would love to get those perception bonuses. We'll start with Ingot first.
4.
Okay. And then Gristle, what is your perception bonus?
5.
Okay. As you're making your way down the stairs, you're examining, looking for anything out of the ordinary. You're getting close. You can see you're getting close to the bottom of the stairs. You haven't noticed anything that looks dangerous. So far, so good. No traps. Waverly, I'll go ahead and have you just make your own religion check to see if you notice anything.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
A 1. Yeah, you don't. Like, there are some carvings in the wall, it looks like, but like maybe there were this was once a complex of some kind, and it must have been important. I mean, that shrine to Abadar was pretty big. Like this had to have been a very important site, but everything is so faded and damaged that you just can't make out anything that suits you. And then Thee, what is your stealth bonus?
It is 6.
6. Okay. So you are sort of keeping back. Did you wanted to stay back behind the party, right?
Yes.
Right. So you're behind the party, moving along, keeping to the shadows, staying out of the light, doing your best not to make any sounds as they are making their way forward. It is when you get to the bottom of the stairs. It is Gristle who notices it first. You get into this room. On one side of the room, there's a table that's been turned on its side. And on the other side of the room, there are these crates and barrels that have been piled up. And like, it's almost like instinctive when you see this. Ingot doesn't seem to notice, but you pick up on it almost immediately. It just screams ambush. When you see like cover has been set up. And at that moment, you hear a sound that sounds almost like a sharp intake of breath in the darkness, and you spot movement behind this table as something like ducks behind it just a little bit further, and you know there is danger. And at this point, we will roll initiative.
Can I? Because am I in front of everyone else?
You're I would assume that you're sort of at the head of the party, making sure.
I do want to make a big effort to turn around, not yell, and I'm gonna do this situation.
Got it.
I'm gonna say in my head to Gristle, "What are you trying to say?"
What? And then you say it out loud. What?
Let's get those initiatives.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying, team.
Yeah, it's great.
They don't
obviously, Thee, you can roll stealth for initiative since you are sneaking about.
Perfect. They don't have the moves, but they have the spirit.
I got an 18.
An 18 for old Weaver.
Ingot's at 11.
All right, Ingot. Yeah, you were kind of surprised by this. You were trying to keep an eye out, but you're like, wait, what? There's a thing? I didn't see
good
anything.
at it.
Gristle?
7.
7.
Yeah.
You spent way too much time trying to signal everybody that you kind of lost your track.
I was doing full effort. It's communicating.
Yeah.
And then Thee?
That's a 15.
Nice.
15.
Thank God.
All right.
Oh my God. Catch me worried about y'all.
All right, Waverly. You're next to Gristle and you see she's waving and signaling danger, and you look and Like you hear a sound. You don't see creatures yet, but you know she's signaling danger. The creatures are currently hidden to you, but if you wanted to, you could use one of your actions this round to make a seek check, which is just make a perception check and try to find, okay, where's this danger that Gristle is signaling you to?
Okay. First, I will raise my shield, and
Yes,
then
shield's up.
I will make a seek action.
All right. One important question that I do need to ask: who is carrying that old torch that you guys have?
Okay.
Me.
Okay, so you've got a shield in one hand, torch in the other. Just keep that in mind that your hands are full right now.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead and make that perception check for me.
That is going to be a 25.
25, yeah. You note that there are not just one danger, there are 3 dangers in this room. Behind this table, there is a kobold that is peeking up from behind the table. It looks like he's got a crossbow, and he's about to fire upon you and your companions. There is also a badly wounded-looking kobold behind the barrels, next to another kobold, and they look like they are also part of this ambush. You recognize the kobold that is badly wounded as the one that escaped down into these tunnels. Probably warned his friends that you guys were coming, so they tried to lay an ambush for you. But you do spot them all.
I'm going to say all of that to Gristle.
Okay, you point
in my
that
head.
out to everybody.
Or
Okay.
everyone. And then I'm going to toss my torch into the room, but not
Sure.
like, I don't want to throw it at them, but like just kind of throw it a
To
few
give light,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah. You
Great.
get it.
That's a great idea. All right. So you raised your shield, you sought out the enemy, and then you toss your torch into the room, providing light and giving yourself a free hand. But that is your third action for the round, and we will move down the initiative track to Thee.
Okay.
You're currently 20 feet back from your companions, but you do know there is danger ahead, and you hear Waverly shouting out that, like, behind the table, behind the barrels, 3 of them. So you know your targets are there. It would just take you one extra move action to get up to where you would need to be, depending on where you want to come. Just like that doesn't matter.
Okay.
What are you doing? I'm just talking.
So they are not visible for a shot with my short bow.
I would say that if you were behind them, you're still on the stairs, so you probably don't have line of sight to them because of the angle. But if you move up to the entrance of the room, you would be able to see them. Now, when they're behind the table in the barrels, they will have cover, but that's just, they're also flat-footed because you're hidden. So
Yes, so I'll come use one of my actions to move ahead close enough to be in visible sight, and then I'll take a shot with my short bow against them while they are in cover.
Sure. If you want to take 2 actions, I would say that you could position yourself to negate the cover, but that's up to you if you want to spend 2 actions moving or just 1 action moving.
How close am I if I move 2 actions to negate the cover? Would that put me in the room?
You would be in the room, and I would say you would move to the sides so that you're basically just skirting the cover. You're not like getting closer to the kobolds if you don't want to be. You would just be getting basically so that you have a better angle around the table or the barrels.
Nah, I don't want to be in the room. I don't trust that. I did that once. It went badly.
All right,
Yeah.
no problem at all. You take 1 action, they're going to get that cover, but they're flat-footed, which is going to be a -2 to their armor class. And don't forget, you get to add sneak attack damage if you hit.
Right. So that is a 26, 19 plus 7.
Yeah, 26 is not only going to do it, but because they're flat-footed, it's going to be a critical hit.
Yeah.
You're going to roll all of your damage dice twice, including your sneak attack damage. That gets doubled as well. So double the dice all around.
And the short bow is deadly, which means on criticals, it's a D10. Is that an extra roll?
It's an extra D10,
What?
yes.
Insane. You're an assassin.
You know what this number is? Just dead.
Yeah.
Just
let's-
dead.
Let's do that. Okay. Ooh, that's fun. Okay.
Dice everywhere.
10, 14. 24
Wow.
points of piercing.
24 points of damage.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask before, so I'll let you choose now. Behind the table, there's a kobold. Behind the barrel, there's a kobold, and behind the barrel, there's also the wounded kobold from yesterday. Who do you want to kill? Because this is a kill shot.
I want the one behind the table because I want the one that was injured to see it happen.
Oh yeah.
God.
This kobold picks his moment. leaps up to his feet, looks like he's about to fire this loaded crossbow in his hand. And as he leaps, your arrow catches him right through the throat. And he just falls backward onto his back. He is dead. And the other kobolds in the room both like scream in terror. You do have another action left.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take that penalty just for crit fishing purposes.
Do it.
Crit fish. Love it.
All right. So you said it's a -5?
-5 on this one.
So that is
These kobolds have not acted, so they're still flat-footed to you.
That's a 20 total.
20 is a hit. Not a critical this time, but you definitely get a hit. Which one are you targeting? The one from yesterday or the other kobold?
The other one. I want them to experience fear.
You're getting your vengeance on this guy one way or the other.
He's kind of a mess. That is 11 points
so
of piercing damage.
11 points of piercing damage. The other kobold looks like he was about to start to go over to see if his friend was still alive when your shot takes him almost through the heart. Definitely a grievous wound, but he is still alive and he ducks back into cover, clearly rethinking his position on things.
Thea probably starts like laughing, cackling in a slightly concerning way.
Yeah.
A fantastic turn for Thea. Oh, wow. It is now one of these kobolds' turn. It is going to, he just took an arrow almost through the heart. He breaks it off and throws it to the ground, then pops up out of cover. And he still can't see Thea, but he does see Waverly standing there with a shield raised. So he's going to fire his crossbow right at her.
And miss.
Maybe. That's not a great roll. That is only 15.
Miss!
Yeah.
Raise my shield!
Yeah, there we go. So the crossbow bolt comes in, clangs off the shield, doing nothing. The kobold ducks back down, cranks the crossbow one more time, and then scampers over to be behind the table, splitting up from the other kobold. Ingot, it is now your turn.
Yeah, cool art. It's so good. Ingot has been watching this go down, and he's muttering to himself as he pulls out one of the icy crystals, and he says, "Revenge is a dish best served cold." And casts a ray of frost at the one that had escaped him earlier. This ray of frost was supposed to hit him.
Now, just so you know, if your first action is to cast, he's still behind cover. You could try to move to get to a better position, or you can stay where you are.
I think I'm going to stay here because I'm behind Waverly's protection.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, so he does have that cover bonus, but you do get to fire your Ray of Frost.
Oh, yeah. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes, a dirty 20 does hit. Even with the cover, you managed to spear him with this icy blast of magic.
3 plus my intelligence. 7 points of cold damage.
7 points of cold damage, and so grievously wounded from the other day, none of his companions know how to make medicine checks. His constitution bonus is too low. His head just becomes this icy block, and he falls backwards from the weight of it and just shatters. You do have one action left, Ingot. Your power continues to grow.
Yeah, Ingot is going to take a moment to look back at Thea and just... and that's my action.
I think you've gone from a copper ingot to an iron one. I'm impressed.
It would be this dead kobold's turn, but it got its head frozen, so he can't do much. Gristle, that leaves you.
Wow, I'm really enjoying this whole make him suffer thing. That was super cool, Thea. I'm actually really impressed. Ingot, good job. I'm just saying this as I'm like walking towards the last one. The last one is behind the table or the barrel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's behind the table. It moved to behind the table. So yes, you're correct.
I want to walk over. I don't know how many actions it's going to take because I think this might be too many. I want to just saunter over to this table, kick it over like onto this kobold, and then I just want to like punch it dead. If I can do those things, but I don't know how to do roll
if you
punches.
Want to kick, if you want, you can get to the table, no problem. If you want to kick the table into the kobold, I'll need an athletics check from you.
Yeah, you do. Right.
But if you hit, sure, that'd be awesome. It'd be very cool.
All right, that's gonna be 19 plus 6 for athletics. That's 25.
Wow.
Yes.
You kick this table and it just flies forward, smashing into the kobold as he's trying to get a better shot on your friends. The kobold goes, he doesn't take any damage, but he does get knocked back. He's prone on the ground.
Ooh.
You would have to take another action to get to him now because there's some distance between you, but it was definitely cool.
Yeah, okay. And then I guess I use the action to like get right up on him to
Yeah, sure. So then you just saunter right up next and you're standing over him as he's like trying to finish cranking this crossbow to load it. It takes us to the top of the next round, and Waverly, it is your turn.
Waverly's just kind of peeking out from her shield, just like, they got this.
Yeah.
So
We just needed some sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of walk over to Gristle and look down at this kobold, and I'll just cast Daze on it, but like a little like boop, because it's down, right?
Yeah, it's down on the ground.
Yeah.
You boop it with Daze, which I believe is just a save on my part, correct?
Yes.
Will save?
That is going to be a Fortitude save.
Fortitude
sorry,
save.
sorry,
All
sorry,
right.
sorry. No.
Nope. Yep.
That is a will save.
All right. That is a 24.
Aw.
Well, you are going to save.
But I do believe it's only a regular success, so it's still going to be half damage.
Okay, here it comes.
Which I believe Daze is just straight up your wisdom modifier, correct?
Yep, 4.
All right. So
2.
he resists some of it, taking 2 points of damage. Still affected. That takes us to Thee. Now, Thee, they're not currently flat-footed to you automatically because they've acted at this point. However, Gristle is right up in one of their face, so you could easily get into flanking if you would like.
Okay. And this one's not looking that great anyways.
Right?
This one is it's only barely been damaged yet. It got knocked over by the table, but it hasn't actually been otherwise damaged.
Okay. You know, I'm just gonna take a shot at the first one, and it is
Sure.
not in cover. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a regular shot from here.
Sure. Yeah, the cover's gone. The table's gone, so it doesn't have cover.
Just make a shot. Hey, that's fair.
Table has been destroyed.
So the first shot is an 18.
18 hits.
That's for 3 points of piercing.
All right.
Second shot, let's do it. That's a 16 to hit.
16 misses.
All right, and I'm gonna go a third shot just to crit fish because why not?
Yeah.
I love the
You said a
background
16
music.
misses? Yeah.
16 misses. That's correct.
It's a 15, then I'll miss.
All right. Wow. 15 with a -10. That would have been quite a roll.
Yes.
That was oh man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
lucky for the kobold. It was on your third shot. So that takes us to its turn. It just sort of reflexively looking up at Gristle is just going to pull the trigger on its crossbow and fire.
Bad move.
That is going to be to hit 25.
Well, my AC is 18, so I guess it hits me because I'm standing right there like an idiot.
But you looked real cool for a second.
I'm so mad. Okay, yeah. It's fine.
Just lean.
Then the crossbow bolt strikes you. You take 4 points of piercing damage.
Jesus.
It throws the crossbow to the ground, stands up with a single action. However, when it stands up, you as a fighter have the attack of opportunity reaction. So you actually can take a free unarmed strike because you are currently unarmed. I don't think you drew your sword.
It did not.
So you could, if you wanted to, just smack it as it stands up.
I have 2 options here. I could hit it with my bare fist. I can also use my ability that I forgot that I had till now. It's my warrior background ability, Intimidating Glare. It just makes it sad, though. I don't think it does it. It says, you can demoralize foes with a glance. Your opponent needs to be able to see you. You take no penalty for not using language. I don't exactly sure. True.
Yeah, so I'll tell you exactly how you would use that. Demoralizing is an action that you can take on your turn where you attempt to frighten an enemy. Normally, you have to be able to speak to them, but because you have intimidating glare, you can actually just do it with a look, which gives you an advantage in that you don't have to be able to speak their language. You don't have to be able to speak at all. It can be a totally silent thing.
So
But
I
you
could
actually
scare a horse if I really wanted to.
you could scare just
With my
about
eyes.
anything if you wanted
I love
to.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Continue.
on your turn, you would take one action to make an intimidation attempt. And if you're successful, your enemy becomes frightened. Frightened creatures take a penalty equal to their frightened value on just about everything they can do. But
Okay.
unfortunately, in this specific instance, you would only be able to attack.
Okay, because it's a yeah. Got it. I'll just punch it in the face.
Punch it in the face.
Stupid kobold it is. How do I roll for punching? I don't have my stats for open hands, a bare hand.
Oh
combat.
wait, I'm sorry. No, yeah. It should just be it should just be the same as your greatsword. In this specific instance, there might be other instances where it's different,
Okay.
but I believe for your greatsword it's the same number because you're trained, you're just using your strength bonus and yada yada. So
It's like it's a 20 to hit.
trying to hit. Oh yeah, you punch it. It stands up and you just hammer blow on the top of the head.
In the same
Roll a d4 and add your strength
D4.
bonus.
Okay. Oh, of course, I'm missing a D4. Hold on. 2 seconds. Oh my god. Okay, here's one.
So many dice.
Okay, 2 plus 3 is 5.
All right, 5 points of damage as you just hammer blow it on the top of the head. It stands up, almost dazed from the spell and dazed from the blast from your fist. And it is going to... Oh, man. What is it going to do? It is going to draw a short sword.
Oh.
But unfortunately, that's its third action. It's probably not going to get any more actions in this world.
I
I
should
think
think
it might be
This
removed
world.
from this world soon. Because now it is Ingot's turn.
Ingot moves over closer to where Gristle and Waverly are with the kobold and takes an action to do that and can look up. Genuine is looking at Waverly or Gristle, and Ingot is confused. Should we capture this one?
What
Yes.
for? Wait, what? For what? Oh.
For the fish thievery or...
Oh. Sure. Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't work out, we can still kill him later.
So Ingot will turn to the kobold and say, "You are under arrest. Come with us quietly."
Okay.
Or I'll kick you again.
I don't know what the rules for arresting someone are. Go ahead
Why
and
would they-
roll an intimidation check.
Okay.
Okay.
Do kobolds speak a different language, though?
Oh, right.
There's a chance. You don't know if
Okay.
it understands it or
Okay.
not.
I am not trained at all or anything in intimidation.
It's fine. This is your first time. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
A 17?
Ooh.
17. The kobold looks at you kind of confused, not sure why you aren't killing it. But otherwise, like you're not, it doesn't like drop its weapon either. So you're not sure if it understood you or not.
It's gonna come off my hand later.
Yeah, I think Ingot is going to hold his action because he's not sure what to do.
Okay. Not sure what to do. Holds his action, leaving it all up to Gristle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I felt like I just went, but it was a reaction.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yeah, that's right. It was a reaction.
It was a reaction.
Yeah. I got confused too for a second there.
I don't know. Is there anything that? What would I roll to, like, grapple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
Subdue.
can, so if you want to grab the creature, you
Yeah.
can actually roll. It's your choice of athletics or an attack roll, and it works like an unarmed attack roll or athletics. It's your choice when grabbing.
Oh, well, I guess attack is stronger for me, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Ooh, that's the 18.
18 is definitely going to do it. Yeah, you reach forward, grab onto this creature. When a creature is grabbed, he can't move, and he'll be flat-footed.
Can someone get some rope, and we're gonna tie this thing up and I guess interrogate it or whatever,
Okay.
please?
I'm gonna go grab my pack and pull out some rope and then just like cut off a decent chunk, maybe like 10 feet. It's probably excessive, but
10
Okay.
feet's good. I see what you're doing there, bud.
Okay. The kobold struggles weakly in Gristle's grasp, but is you're way stronger than this thing.
Tight bear hug.
Way stronger.
Gonna start wrapping around.
Okay.
You know what? Because it's obnoxious, I'm actually gonna wrap it around Gristle while they're holding the kobold. Basically, tie the kobold to Gristle.
You're gonna I dig it. You tie this
mobility.
kobold to Gristle.
Oh. Well, at least my hands are free.
But of course, it has to be faced away from her, so that basically now it is
Like
a baby
a baby?
Bjorn.
Oh,
Yeah.
Baby Bjorn's to her.
Perfect. So just like right here, there's a little dude.
Very
this
unhappy.
kobold is like thoroughly like it's struggling. It's like it's terrified. Does not understand what's happening. What do you guys do?
Jim, when you grapple someone, do they drop their weapon?
Right.
Not specifically, but
We disarm the kobold.
grab its weapons
I'm
on
gonna
it,
grab it and just kind of
Sure.
or if he dropped it, I'm just gonna kick it away.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There was fish in the room before, right?
There were some, yeah. It
I'ma
didn't
go-
look like a whole lot, but like enough that they were eating from that.
I'm gonna go
stock.
run and grab one and then bring
Okay.
it back down.
Okay. Bring a fish back down.
Yep.
While Thea is gone, is anybody doing anything?
Ingot is just staring at this kobold like eye level with it.
Okay. After like a minute, as Thea's coming back down the stairs, the kobold finally it's like, what? Why?
We are asking the questions here, little dude. I'm trying to lean over and talk to it on my chest. Where did all the fish go? Where are your cohorts? Why did you take the fish?
Fish for eat. Yum. Good.
But it did not belong to you. You stole it from someone else who worked hard to get it there.
Now ours, 'cause take.
No, you should be ashamed of yourself.
No,
Someone else. Can't you go catch your own fish?
I'm actually with the kobold.
We catch fish. We go out. We catch fish. Take. Have. Eat.
No.
Good.
No, take.
Yes. Take. We take. Yes, we take.
Where's the rest?
Yes. Sorry. You had something you were trying to get in there.
I was gonna say, Waverly, you seem to make this assumption that the kobold society is the same as the society that you function above ground. That is not an assumption you can make. They are trying to survive. You can go to a tavern.
Yes, and I could also fish for my own fish in the ocean or a lake or a river without stealing it from someone else.
Yes, they cannot, is my point.
Well, then we shall teach them to fish.
Okay, it is not their inability to be taught. It is society's inability to accept them. They are monsters, Waverly.
But they can learn to fish, and
Then
then they can
change-
feed themselves without having to steal.
Then change everyone above ground's opinion of that first.
I shall. Perhaps that will be my thesis.
It's like, forgot about
And
it for a while.
I'm gonna wave the fish in front of the kobold's face. More? Where?
Untie?
Where?
Untie?
Gristle.
Well, I guess we can either kill it or we could walk it around, I guess, and maybe it'll say something we can hear something cool. I don't know.
Out of character, I want to make one of those baby leashes that parents put on their children for the kobold.
Ah.
Use like a
But no,
rope.
we did one. This is one, but I'm carrying it. Does this make me encumbered though, or something? Is this gonna affect me like long game?
I would say that wearing a kobold on your chest will affect you if you try to.
Unless it makes me more powerful. I don't know. I'm
Do
just saying.
It's also an uncooperative and generally hostile creature, so no,
Can
it will
it
not make you more
Learn
powerful.
to
in this.
love. I'm just saying.
You
Yes.
could, if you wanted to gain its favor and trust, you could try diplomacy to try to win it over to your side. It does seem to be at least it will talk to you at this point. You could try it, or you could try to coerce it with intimidation.
which you have your skill with.
You can't get a good glare because it's on your
I could flip it around. I could just kind of wedge it so it's facing.
Well, he's tied to you, so it'd be really awkward.
Yeah.
Hey, who here is good at talking? Because it's certainly not me. Can you convince this thing that we're the good guys and we just want to find the fish and we'll be out of their hair and the stupid adventure will be over?
Yes. And I'll kind of get down to look at this kobold.
Look, I know what you did may not have been wrong, but perhaps you don't know that it was wrong. So, therefore, it's okay in this moment. But we need to find the rest of the fish, and I don't want my friends to smash you to smithereens like they did, and I'll point to his dead friends. Because I do believe that you should live. But if my friends choose the alternative, I'm afraid I won't be able to stop them. If you could show us where the fish is, I can guarantee, and I'll look at all of them, you can escape with your life.
Make a diplomacy check.
This is great, Katie, by the way.
19.
19. Kobold listens to this whole thing. Says, yes, Boko should live. Good point. Boko say take fish. Boko not do wrong because Zogran say take fish for baby. So we take, which is good. You wrong about that.
Your name is Boko.
Yes.
I'm Waverly. It's nice to meet you. And who
You just kill friends, so not nice.
Oh, well, I did not kill your friends. But who did you say told you to take the fish?
Zogran tell everybody all time what to do.
Zogran?
Say take fish. We take fish. Have to take fish, have to get treasure. Treasure and fish. Yes, that's what we have to have. The baby wants it.
The baby?
Crap.
Yes.
What baby?
No.
Baby.
Like what kind
The
of
baby.
What is the baby?
The baby.
Okay.
The baby is come out of egg. And it will grow up with last fish. Yes, we feed it the fish. The baby will get big.
I want you to know, Jim Jam, you just won me a $10 bet.
That's awesome.
So
Baby
who is-
kill everybody, and we have it's good. Yes.
Well, if the baby kills everybody, doesn't that mean that they'll kill you as well?
No, we feed fish. We give treasure. Baby love.
It's like offerings to a king. As long as you give the king what they want, they accept you, they acknowledge you, they don't eat you.
And who is Zokran?
Zogran take care of baby.
And what will Zokran think that you are the only survivor and you just left all of your friends down here to die?
I don't know what you're getting at here.
What I'm getting at is you need to help us.
No, because we feed baby, grow up big, kill all of you, then we take everything.
I give you some gold
that's
if you
fine.
help us.
Oh,
Gold could give gold to baby.
And
Thee,
fish.
no. Thee, that is too precious. We cannot give up our gold.
That's true. Plus, they wouldn't even know anything anyways. They're probably lying.
We might as well give them the precious fish that is carried by Gristle. They would
Hey,
not.
now, that's not on the table.
Hmm?
Crystal does have special fish, and I have special fish. But
They would
I
not
don't even
appreciate
think. I don't think this kobold actually knows anything. They don't know where we're going.
Oh, perhaps if each of us could donate 1 day's worth of rations, they could bring that to the
No.
baby
Oh
instead
my God.
of the fish.
We are gonna bring
Uh,
this thing to the baby ourselves.
I wanted to give Ingot and I'll let whichever the two of you have a better deception check. Either Thee or Ingot. You guys can compare.
Not Ingot.
It's probably me.
Yeah.
Probably Thee. Sure. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Ingot was assisting with a yes and.
Yeah.
That's a 16 plus 8 for a 24.
Boko, how much gold have you got?
Boko, I'm a thief. I have a lot.
Okay, you give Boko gold, you untie, then I give to baby, then the baby grow up, kill everybody, and Boko have everything, and Zolgran love Boko because Tata gold. Yes, okay, so what you want? You give me gold and I do what you want. What for gold? What do you want from Boko?
Take us to the baby so we
Take us
can
to
give the baby gold, and then the baby can grow up and kill everything. And
I'm not gonna like that.
But
Look, I could take gold for you and talk to Zolgran and see maybe baby not kill you.
maybe you could feed us to the baby.
Oh, I could feed you to baby. Yes, Zolgran like that. Have to talk to Zolgran. Zolgran make decisions, not Boko.
Of course. Zogran in charge, right?
Oh, very much. You untie. I go talk to Zolgran. Yes.
Yeah.
Or you could stay tied to me, little one, and we could go to Zogron together.
Oh, you're not. No, I can't. No, I can't. Not because other kobolds see they stab, kill.
Oh, we're gonna kill
Zolgran.
those ones anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh, no, you're going to die.
No.
What?
Because
No.
they help feed the baby.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I look at Waverly. I don't know what the plan is.
Ingot, Gristle, Waverly, and Thee will wait here as our friend Boko goes to Zolgran.
We cannot untie him and let him go on his own. He will turn on us the second he leaves.
I cover Boko's ears. Hey, no, seriously, I have no idea what are you planning? What's going on? Are we letting him go and like?
We will follow.
Oh, okay. Everyone good with that? I seriously didn't really understand what's happening. Okay, all right. Yes? No? Beverly? No. Yes.
I just think it would be better if he would take us to the fish, but
if we go with him, he cannot tell them that we're bringing gifts first.
Mhm.
And then we will have to do more death, which is bad.
yes. Yes.
Wait, what? Okay. All right.
We
Great.
have gifts.
Oh, his ears are still covered, so they don't have to line up. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, buddy, looks like you're getting to go home or whatever. Yes. Can someone help with this situation?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. Untie Boko. He
Jam?
looks up at all of you. What's that? Yes.
I grabbed the torch.
Mm.
Okay.
That's
Good
it.
to
I just
know.
wanted. I just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I thought there was. I definitely thought there was another part to that.
I do.
No,
I
it's
just
good to
didn't want to
know.
leave it behind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Good call.
I'm so sad we didn't get to carry him around for like another scene or two, but it's fine.
We'll see.
Okay. All right, little Bo, go on and tell your master that gifts are coming.
Yeah, you stay. I tell Zolgran you bring gold to baby. Maybe baby not eat you.
Yeah.
Does he have anything on his back? Like, does he
Like-
wear like anything on his back? Like
Like a shield
what?
or
like a sword?
No, I mean
Weapon?
you have it. You have his sword. You took that from him. I
Right.
mean he's got a shirt on, but he doesn't really look like he's got anything else. Like he doesn't have like a pack or anything.
I was gonna say, as he walks away, can I cast light on his shirt so we can
It would-
see it?
You could, and then his shirt would glow. Yeah, that's possible to do.
Everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts. It's okay. I don't have to.
No, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So that we can follow? No. No.
Oh, we're using hand signals. Yes.
Go.
There are-
Go.
So So there are two exits out of this room. There's one to the north that looks partially flooded, and then there's one on the western wall, and that looks more like an actual like hallway to another room beyond. You can even see that there's some other room over there. And he actually starts heading towards that room. He says, "Okay, you all wait for Boko. Come back. See you soon."
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And then Boko leaves.
Nobody
He's
else
at the
thinks
western.
this was a terrible idea.
No, because when they come back for us, we can literally be anywhere else we want to. And now they're coming to us instead of us walking through unawares.
We have trap advantage.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, you literally went on the whole thing about not wanting to kill. And if we went in and they saw us, they were immediately going to attack us, and then we would have to kill them. So now here's a chance that we can avoid them. Also, when something comes out of an egg and they feed it, it's bad. If they eat must fish, it's bad.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe it's a snake or dragon or like a really big insect.
All bad.
It's a bit concerning.
Only 3 things that come out of eggs.
Yep, that's the 3
Dragons and
things
big
Gristle knows
insects.
about.
See, I'm
Maybe
very
some kind of
concerned at
But
how you think that every creature is dangerous and evil. Perhaps they're just
You said that, not me.
well, perhaps they just have a baby bird that they are feeding.
You did hear him say, "Get big, kill everything," right?
Yes, I did.
Danger bird.
Oh, birds come out of eggs too, yes.
All I am saying is, this is a society where they're offering something tribute, and they essentially steal because it's survival and it's what they need to do. These are my people. I know people like this.
What would be the best course?
Lie until we don't have to. That will be the most non-lethal course. If we tell them the truth, we're going to have to kill all of them.
I mean, I kind of thought we were gonna do that anyway, but
Well, if we have to do that, there's a chance you might get hurt again. It's more likely. And then also, if they come and talk to us, if it does go south, you don't have to run up to them. They're already in front of you, and you just go down with your sword.
Perhaps we should prepare this area then for their arrival.
I mean, we could honestly keep going, and then when we hear them coming, move away. And they might go past us.
sounds like a good plan, actually.
Yes.
I quite like this.
I like it too, because then perhaps we could stay hidden, and therefore I wouldn't have to do any lying or killing.
Yeah, sure, whatever floats your boat, Bev. Okay, so are we gonna follow the path that the kobold took then? Are we going to take the?
I'd say so.
Not the other one. All right, let's go. But remember, search carefully. I don't want to get almost killed by a trap again. That was not a great sign.
Exactly.
Whew. And hand signals.
Mm-hmm.
Hand signals too. All right, sorry. You are following Boko at this point?
Yes, stealthily.
Okay. Stealthily following Boko. Okay. You saw which way Boko went, so you wait till he gets out of sight. You start heading west and manage to find yourselves very soon in a small chamber dedicated to a great marble statue fountain of a beautiful mermaid. The water is shockingly pristine, and you can see that there are a couple of coins glittering in the bottom of this fountain. There is another exit from this room to the north, and even from this distance, you can hear voices nearby. There's quite a few of them. You would guess that, and there's no other exits to the room, so Boko must have turned to the north, and he's either with his companions now talking to them, or has moved beyond that. Can't really tell. There is a door actually to the north as well, so you can't really see into the room, but you can hear. You know that there are kobolds nearby. What do you guys do?
I think we're following Fee because we're trying to be quiet, right? And as we
Yeah.
move in, we can sort of like fan out and sort of check out this room. Because as long as we can keep what we're hearing to one side, we can sort of take this area in.
Sure.
I get
Yeah. Moving around, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot else in this room. The fountain itself is really the only remarkable feature of it. Again, you do see that there's some coins in it. If you wanted to take them, you could.
Are they like gold standard coins?
Oh yeah, like there's it looks like some silver and some gold and copper pieces in there. Generally, what I like to do when you find a group of coins, and I didn't do this last time, but what I generally do is simplify everything into a gold standard.
Sure.
We talked about how 10 copper is a silver, 10 silver is a gold. So when I have like an adventure like this that lists out an amount of coins, I might just say, well, you find 5 gold pieces in loose coins, which gives you have a variety of coins. But I just round up, maybe even give you a little bit more than you want. If you wanted to gather those up, again, in this specific instance, you'd be looking at about 5 gold pieces in loose coin.
Ingot is going to pull out of his pouch. He has the coin from the puzzle earlier, and it is now lead with the etched 7 in it. And he's going to look at sort of the size without touching any of the coins in the fountain itself. Do any of them compare to this, or is it completely different?
They all look pretty standard. None of them look like the coin that you're holding, but size-wise, they're all relatively the same. There's some variation in size and shape based on where the coins may have been minted, but otherwise, it's fairly standard. Nothing jumps out at you.
So Ingot's intention is to gather these coins, but before he does, he's going to do one last detect magic. So he'll pull up his crystal to look through, and the fountain in general, but most importantly, these coins to see if there's anything magical.
No magic here. None that you can detect.
And he grabs those coins.
All right. Again, 5 gold pieces.
I'll take it.
I want to investigate the mermaid statue specifically. Do I know, or like, do I have any lore from growing up in this town about like, are mermaids lucky? Should you like rub their belly or no, something like that?
Make good coffee.
Yeah.
What lore do you have? Just out of curiosity.
Oh God, like I just think nothing, but I just, I think my character might know about mermaids. Let me see, lore. Oh, I do have something in lore. Wait, where is it? Warfare. Lore.
The fighting mermaids.
There's nothing. It's definitely a very well done piece, and considering the age of this place and the way everything else has been so worn down, it's surprising to see the mermaid fountain in such great condition, and the water to be so clean. It is definitely interesting, but there's nothing specifically that jumps out at you like, oh, this is it's not like the statue of Abadar where there's another god involved here or anything like that.
A very clean, inconspicuous fountain. I suppose we can move on now.
Still being quiet.
Right. We're being quiet. I say it again, but slightly less loud.
There was 2. Was there 2 doors? You said.
There's one door in this room. There was another northern passage in the first room that you were just in, but this one, there's only one way out, which is to a door. And you know that beyond that door, like you can hear like activity very clearly.
I have an idea, if I may do so. Well, Waverly, do I have your permission to put down a trap in front of the door? Or would you not like me to do that?
You're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you. You're muted. Or the mic just dropped because Katie is not muted, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Hear me?
Yes.
Yep. There you are.
Well, the trap won't actually kill them.
Yes.
So.
Almost killed me, but who knows?
But you didn't die. And I could heal them, perhaps later. Sure, yes, you could do that.
But okay, wait. Let me, before I do that, because now that I have permission, I'm going to hold on to that. Do the kobolds on the other side of this room, I'm going to ask you all what you would like to do because I know what I would like to do, and I want to make sure that it coincides with the group's ideas.
Well, I can tell you that my idea would be to go in there and convince them to give us back the fish, and we shall leave them alone and they can continue doing their work, but we will return the fish.
Was our job to return the fish or to find the fish?
I would assume, or Ingot would assume, that the fish as merchandise would like to be returned, but does it go bad?
Yes.
Yes, fish goes bad very quickly if you don't preserve it, that is, which is why fish pickling is such a lucrative opportunity for this town.
Makes sense.
I would say, okay.
Identifying the source of the missing fish resolves the problem for the future.
Yes, I agree with Ingot. What's your name right? I think it's imperative that we find the culprits and that we stop the problem where it started. So, you know what? If we can give them an eloquent speech like Beverly wants us to, that's great. If we have to kill them, then we kill them. Whatever the solution is, I'm happy to take it. And Thee, how about you? You seem like you're taking ballots here. What's your vote?
I am more than happy to just practice diplomacy and get them to go by. If they talk too much and don't like it, I would probably stab each of them, but I am trying to exercise more compassion and kindness.
And communication?
And communication.
Yes, all coming together.
Very
Communication.
Perhaps if Ingot, Waverly, Thee, and Gristle are in a dangerous situation, there can be some sort of word or code to switch from diplomacy to stabbing.
Murder. Oh, so we can't just yell murder. No, we're not doing that.
We could. That is an
Is our code word murder?
Cool.
Katie. The wave of emotions that went through Waverly's face just now.
Well, okay. Well, sorry, all my ideas are too loud. Intern, what do you think we should say then?
Well, a code word usually does not give away your intentions.
Perhaps.
How about pacify?
Pacify.
So we could say, we are trying to pacify you. As a way of saying we're actually going to.
Or remove.
Well, if we say we're going to remove you to them, I feel like they might know we mean we're going to
remove them from this earth, as Waverly so eloquently said earlier.
I mean, we could try to not kill them, but
what if we have to? Then we have a code word.
Or I meant more like we could try to down them in non-lethal ways, if that is the preference.
Like tie them all to our chest and walk them up to the top?
I meant put them unconscious, but sure.
Well,
I feel like I should explain my theology a little bit more so you guys can just kind of understand. It's
Maybe
not about no.
If she brings out her book, I'm out of here.
But it is about understanding the idea that you're going to kill someone before you do it, and at least weighing other options before just instant murder. So that is all. I want you to think about it beforehand and, weigh those options. Is it possible to talk to someone? Great. If not, then I understand the alternatives and the needing to remove from this world. That being said, I do not want to put any of your lives in danger because we hesitated for too long.
Well said.
Huh? Yeah, yep, that's what she said. Absolutely. For the team, for justice, maybe to be, what was the word used earlier? Being nice, compassion, yes?
Yes,
if not,
that's what.
Then murder.
I forget.
Diplomacy.
All agreed. Great. Is the trap set?
Oh, do we want them to walk by, or do we want to just get them when they come out? That's either way is fine for me, to be honest. But This way we get a bit of an ambush, so to speak.
Mhm.
Maybe we could put like a rug on top of it.
Sure, let's set the trap. If we decide we don't want them to run into it, then we can yell, hey, stop, or whatever. But I'm sure they'll be fine. Like Beverly said, I got hit by the trap. I didn't die. Probably fine.
Yeah.
She's nodding, so I feel like we're all agreed.
Yes. Also, to be honest, if we sorry, I was totally unrelated, I promise. If we stop them in front of the door, then they have to funnel. Don't make that face. If we stop them in front of the door, then they have to funnel through. And they can decide if they want to be pacified or if they want to be peaceful.
Yeah, they choose. They choose their own adventure. I like that. Not our fault.
This is the first time I've ever done this, I swear.
We should move quickly because I have a feeling they'd probably be coming back anytime.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put that trap right in front of the door so that when someone opens it and walks through.
Sure. Why don't we go ahead and pop over to roll 20? I currently have you guys, if you are there, you'll note that you are in the Mermaid Fountain Room. You can go ahead and drop a ping wherever you would like that trap to be, and that is where it'll be.
I don't seem to be in the
Not
Mermaid
seeing
Room.
Mermaid
We're in the previous one.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're in the Mermaid Room.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mermaid
okay.
Room. Welcome to the Mermaid Room, everybody.
Right in front of the door.
Right in front of the door. Perfect. Can't avoid it when it's right there.
Yep.
All right.
Inget will set up next to the but
Sure.
on the side of the door as entrance.
Okay.
I'll go here. Yes.
Gabe wants to lay in the fountain,
Right.
but Gabe is also super nervous about that fountain.
Boy, you come up out of the fountain with a bow drawn. Oh,
That's
so
what
cool.
I'm gonna do. You know what? If this fountain
Well-
kills me, it's worth it.
Fan art, please. Okay.
I'm gonna lay in the fountain.
Perfect.
Is it deep enough that I can lay in it so that they would not see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem is there's water, so you would have to hold your breath if you wanted to like lay in the fountain. But you could just, you could just kneel down. Yeah.
Okay,
Why not?
I'm
There's
gonna-
no reason. Yeah.
Perfect.
Or you could float on his back,
Yeah.
That's complicated.
which is very
The
cool looking,
bamboo.
I think.
Gabe can't do that.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
You are lying in wait. A few minutes passes, and the door leading into the unknown opens, and you can see that there is a chamber beyond, and there are probably half a dozen kobolds in there, and one of them you recognize.
A lot.
He has a couple of wounds, but it is Boko standing at the door. And he does not appear to notice that you guys have all set up in here, and he steps forward. And that spike trap that you placed goes off. And old Boko needs to make a reflex save
Just backfired.
and fails. So,
Oh, no.
since you set the trap, why don't you go ahead and roll 2d8 points of piercing damage?
Oh, so much
Oh, that's
bartering
not
over his
great.
life.
That's 13.
13 combined with the wounds that he already had. This trap springs up, spikes lancing around his waist, digging deep into the precious internal organs in his abdomen, splattering him against the walls of the hallway that he stands in. And he dies immediately.
Sounds like
At this
Boko
point-
Broko.
You hear screaming from all the other kobolds in the room to the north. And at that point, we are going to take a little break and come back in just a few minutes. Stick around, everybody. We have a second half of this show to work through in just a little bit as our very diplomatic crew of Definitely Not Murderers continues in the Beginner Box
Pacifiers.
Adventure. We will see you in, I don't know, what is it, 5 to 6 minutes or so? Let's get out of here for a minute.
Give me all your gold, I would have got you.
You're making a big mistake, Val.
Yeah, why's that?
Because I control the power of the universe.
If the atmosphere at your table is less than impressive,
That doesn't normally happen.
you may find it hard to create those magic moments your players crave. Lucky for you, Sirenscape is available for download on your mobile device.
Time's up.
Now that's impressive.
First time. Every time.
Go to Sirenscape.com today to download your free trial and get the right sound for your tabletop games. And don't forget to check out Sirenscape in action every Friday night on Dragons and Things.
Absalom, the city at the center of the world, heart of the Isle of Kortos. Since the living god Erudim founded it nearly 5,000 years ago, people have proudly called this metropolis the crown jewel of the inner sea. Now, it is the year of the Radiant Festival, a once-in-a-lifetime celebration that has drawn visitors to Absalom from around the globe. But not all who wander the boardwalks and alleyways of Absalom have good intentions. Craven crooks, shady charlatans, and malevolent murderers have set their sights on a distracted populace. Under cover of the chaotic festivities, a diabolical plot unfolds. Who can protect the innocent citizens of Absalom? Who will answer the call to save this ancient city from the villains who aim to overtake it, to guard Absalom from certain danger? A band of heroes must uncover the city's deepest secrets, scour its streets for clues, and take down its most dangerous criminal masterminds. For the safety of the many, a few will risk it all. The Agents of Edgewatch.
Bring your game to life with officially licensed Pathfinder miniatures and Pathfinder paints from Reaper Miniatures. Pathfinder miniatures are available in both metal and bones plastic versions to suit your gaming style. Sculpted in heroic gaming scale, Reaper's officially licensed miniatures range features everything from iconic heroes to fan-favorite monsters. Don't forget to use officially licensed Pathfinder paints, colors of Galarion, to paint your Pathfinder miniatures. Pathfinder paints are highly pigmented for fast coverage and feature excellent flow with a matte finish. All Reaper paints are water-based and easy to clean up. Please head over to reaperminiatures.com to see the entire range of Reaper's officially licensed Pathfinder RPG products.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Troubles in Otari. It is the second half of our third episode, and things are about to get a little bit exciting because the crew has stumbled upon a whole group of kobolds that they were really trying to make friends with, but then set a deadly trap for. I don't know it's going to work out. I don't think that relationship has legs. Boko doesn't have legs anymore.
Oh, no.
They have been thoroughly mauled by the trap. I got nothing. This is adventuring. How y'all doing, everybody? Did you have a good break?
Yeah.
Great.
Better than Boko's.
For anyone who's a
Better
little
than Boko's break.
confused, I'm going to give you some background to what my mindset was. This is the only way I'm going to be able to set up an ambush with Waverly's consent.
Right. I see.
I love it. I love it.
God, I'm gonna die here.
I think there's really nothing left to do except to roll initiative.
Get wrecked. I mean,
Let's
roll
do it.
initiative. Yay.
Ooh.
18.
19.
19 for Gristle.
We're killing it.
I was rolling 2 before.
21.
What is Waverly at?
18.
18 for Waverly. Ingot?
16.
Okay, you guys are all clumped in at
Yeah. We're
Ben and
ready.
Fee.
21.
21. Yeah, you guys got a nice even clump of adventurers. I think all of these kobolds are caught completely off guard because they are going last. That leaves us at the top of round 1 with Fee up first. You're currently hidden in the fountain. You can see into the room to the north. If you notice on the map, there is you might actually be a little bit off the map, but that room is where they all are. You can actually see the kobolds positioning, and you definitely have a direct line to the kobold sitting at the table there. But the other ones in the room, you can't really see. That's the only one that you explicitly have a bead on.
That's fine. I'm going to sit up, I'm going to lean up, and then I'm going to take that shot at the first one that I can see.
Sure, have at it.
So cool.
You rolled stealth, so he's flat-footed to you. So don't forget that sneak attack.
I think that's a 17 plus 7 for 24.
24, you say. A flat-footed kobold is critically hit.
Yeah.
So go ahead and, I don't think it's possible for you not to kill it in one hit, but we'll see.
Let's see. Okay. That's 12 plus 2, 14 plus 6, 18 plus 7, 18 plus 7 is 25.
25 points of damage. This arrow comes sailing out of this mermaid fountain at this kobold sitting there. It looks like he was mid-bite on a nice juicy piece of fish, gets caught by this arrow and blasted back into the wall where he is pinned in place. He dead.
Cool.
Oops.
That's one dead kobold. You do have 2 more actions.
I'm going to lay back down on the fountain.
Okay. That's
so
it
cool.
for Fee. He's
I will not go in a room first again. I have learned my lesson. I've been
Crystal?
poisoned. I've been stabbed.
Well, luckily for you, I have not. And I turn around a little confused. Hey, so murder?
Pacify.
Yeah, that one. Perfect. I
The
rush
mermaid
in.
fountain shouts back.
I rush into the room for glory. My movement is only 25 though, so I can only get to here. Yes.
Yeah. So that's with one action. Now, when you step into the room, you can see now quite a few more kobolds. Actually, there's one more. Isn't quite where he needs to be. It looks like there's some sleeping nooks with bedding. You see a total of 5 other kobolds in the room. You have a line of sight on all of them. This room does appear to have some light in it. So even though you have moved away from your companions with the torch, you are still okay on light.
Okay.
And that was only one action to get this point. If you want to move further, you can take more actions to do so.
Well, I'm going to draw my sword first. That seems real important.
It's a good one.
And then, one thing left. I don't really... Can I hold action here? Does that work like that or no?
You can, if you want to ready a reaction, it actually costs 2 actions on your turn to ready an action. If you at this point decided not to use your third action, it would be lost. So there's nothing you can really do with that.
I know. I'll use my intimidating glare because I can make eye contact with the one by the table.
That makes a lot of sense. That'll do it. So what you're going to do is roll an intimidation check with your final action. You're going against the creature's will DC, which is anytime you have like a will DC, fortitude DC, stealth DC, it's 10 plus that creature's bonus. So that's kind of like their armor class for their mind.
Okay.
She did shout murder though, so I think she should get a bonus for that.
I should always get a bonus. I rolled a 13.
Okay.
Anything?
A 13 on this guy. These guys are not very strong-willed kobolds. They watch their friend just get splattered in the hallway. You dash into the room with your great sword in hand. Give this guy the most intimidating glare that you can. You probably slipped just a little bit on the blood. You have a little bit of a whoa moment, but then you get better. It's all good. And this guy looks suitably frightened. He is actually frightened 1, which means he's going to take a -1 penalty to basically everything that he does on his round. And at the end of your turn, if you are ever frightened, at the end of your turn, you reduce your frightened condition by 1. So basically, it's only going to last for 1 round. But still, hey, if you had the extra action, why not use it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I can keep doing that, right? There's no limit on it?
No, you can do it every turn if you want to.
Oh my god.
No
to me, team! I scream to the
air. Perfect. That is going to take us to Waverly.
Do you say to me, team?
Yes.
Then I go.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't die.
I go to there.
I'm going to raise my shield as my first action. And then I'm going to move next to Gristle.
Sure.
And I'm going to hold my third action.
Okay. You get into position, listening to the command. And that takes us to Ingot.
So Ingot also hears the command and is going to move up here.
Okay.
As with the first action, that's the limit of his movement. And then from here, it's within this 30 feet. He seems to grab this pink crystal that seems to have one rough edge, and he pulls out a strap from his belt. And it seems like there's some rough sort of sandpaper, and he starts rubbing this crystal against it, and there's like a pink powder that starts forming. He pulls it up, and he blows on it. And he's casting sleep on these 2 kobolds. It'll affect them within a 30-foot area.
Okay.
So, are they awake
right
now, right?
Oh, they're awake. Yeah. Everybody's awake. Terrified out of their minds, but awake.
So it's
they're
will
both going to need
save?
to make a will save. It looks like. All right. Oh, gosh. Well, one of them is a definite success with a 23.
Is it a critical success?
What's your spell DC?
My spell DC is, I think, 17.
No, then it's just a regular success.
Okay. So on a regular
the other
success, It's a -1 status penalty to perception checks, if that makes sense.
Okay. Gets a little drowsy, but is otherwise unaffected. The other one, however, rolls a natural 1.
Yes, the creature gains the unconscious condition. If it's still unconscious after an hour, it wakes up automatically. So it's unconscious for an hour.
He's going to be asleep for an hour. Now, just keep in mind that if you can be roused from that. So
right.
It is possible for that condition to go away by other means. But otherwise, he'll be asleep for a while. He just like drops where he is.
There's a bed right there.
Yeah, he was already in bed. He was ready for it. He was ready for it. That is the end of Ingot's turn, and that takes us to our good friends, the monsters. Okay, this one that is frightened is going to basically just grab its plate of food. It's got like this fish and gruel and throws it at Gristle.
Nice.
Wait, what? I'm scared.
Hey, I know he's scared. He's going to take
I catch it with my mouth and I eat the food.
Like
he's going to take a
Scooby-Doo
-1 penalty to this ranged attack and only hit an armor class of 15.
I repeat, I catch the food in my mouth, I eat it, and I'm very satisfied.
Okay.
I gain
so
10 health.
the plate misses. And the kobold decides he's had quite enough of this. He's actually going to get up from where he is standing. He is going to walk up onto these like stone steps almost at the end of the room. When he gets all the way back there, he grabs his spear and has it in hand at the end of his 3 actions. There is another kobold in the north side of this room that was getting ready for a little nap when he was waylaid by the real monsters in this session. As we're quickly learning, he is going to rush forward. There, it looks like there's this box in the middle of the room. He rushes towards the box with 1 action. He opens it with another, and with his 3rd action, he grabs what looks like this glass bottle full of ink or oil or something. There is another kobold in one of these 3 sleeping nooks who rushes forward and also grabs a bottle of this viscous substance. And since he didn't have to take an action to open the box, he is actually going to go ahead and throw it at Ingot.
Oh no!
So, Ingot, here comes a bottle, arcs through the air, and it doesn't even look like he's really aiming for you.
Just the
and
area.
he misses you.
Great.
But it splashes to the ground and shatters, and it is this like oil spills out all across the square that you're standing in. And now, if you try to move into or out of that space, you're going to have to make an acrobatics check to avoid slipping on this oil. The last kobold is going to take an action to rouse his sleeping companion with 1 action. Then he is going to run forward with his spear, and he is going to run right up next to Waverly. He had to draw his spear, wake up his friend, and run. He can't do anything else. His companion wakes up, having been roused, grabs a spear, and rushes at Ingot, but then can't do anything else because he had to take too many actions, getting all into place. So you definitely caught these guys off guard. You probably bought yourself enough time to quickly dispatch them, but that's going to be up to you on this round, and it is the top of the next round with Thee going first. Now, Thee, you are currently in the dark. The light has moved on because I believe Waverly's still carrying it. So you are currently in the dark.
Like that. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna make my way up to the rest of the group right inside the room. So spend 1 action to move in.
Well, you do have another option because you were hidden.
Yes,
you could move half your speed and attempt to move stealthily if you wanted to stay hidden. But that's totally up to you.
That. That seems fantastic.
Sure. It would take you then 2 actions to get up into the room, but you'll be hidden when you get there.
Yeah, let's do that. That's even better.
Then you go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Absolutely. 14 plus a bonus of 6 for dirty 20.
These kobolds are so focused on your 3 companions, you're fairly certain not a single one of them has noticed your entry into the room.
Nice. Nice.
Good. And so there's a couple up against the rest of my party. Gristle's smart.
Mm-hmm.
And can handle that. So I'm gonna fire at the one like furthest in the distance.
Sure.
This one.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
All right. That's fun. That is a natural 1.
Oh, even hidden, even though these creatures are flat-footed, that is still going to take you down to a critical failure. Yep. Your arrow goes sailing off into the distance. All of the kobolds now notice you, like they look over as you fire, and like they notice you now. Unfortunately, that was no bueno.
She did it. That's my turn.
Yeah, that's it. But still a good way to reposition yourself. That will take us to Gristle.
That was not me. I would not have missed. I want to run over to this little guy right here.
Leaving us to fend for ourselves.
Okay,
great, cool.
All right. You want to talk about this?
It's fine. Just move out of the oil.
Oh, right.
I'm not.
No,
in oil,
that's
right?
on. That's only on Ingot Square.
Okay.
I got the oil to worry about.
Well, I don't want these guys to keep throwing things. So.
Yeah, you're right.
I rush over. Stop throwing those ding dong things. Then I use my greatsword, and I want to do power attacks. Those 2 actions.
Sure.
So I will roll to hit. That is +8. So that is. Whoa, God, that's a 10. Does that hit?
A 10 will not hit.
Oh, so I can't do power attack at all. So the first one didn't hit.
And
right?
No, so when you make an attempt to power attack, you still use those 2 actions, but if you miss, just nothing happens. It's just like a regular miss. On a hit, you roll double dice.
Right.
Okay.
So I missed, so I don't get a third action is what I mean.
No, yeah.
Okay.
You used up you went to bat too hard. You swung too hard. You used too much of your energy.
Well,
now you have none.
Don't move, you dastardly thing. Just stay right there. That's all I do.
Nice.
Great at this.
You're under arrest.
You're under arrest. Wait while we tie you to my body. Waverly, it's your turn next.
So these 2 kobolds just rushed up to Waverly, and I think as a reaction, she dropped the torch. And I kind of picture them like looking down at the torch, but by the time they look back up at her, she's got her hand out at the guy that's right next to her's face, and she's gonna cast Burning Hands.
Okay.
I'd like to center it, if possible, on the guy that is directly in front of me, so that I can narrowly avoid my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, from your current position, you're going to be able to hit 1 kobold. But either one you pick is fine.
Okay. The one next to me then.
Sure. Yep. Okay. Works for me. I'll make that reflex save. No, that's pretty bad. That is a 10.
That is a fail.
Oh.
That is a fail. All right. Here comes your damage. That's 8 points of damage.
Oh, you catch him full in the face with this blast of flames, the grace of Sarenrae flowing through you. You remove him from the world.
Oh.
Wow.
With a blast of cleansing flames.
And then for my next action, I just would like to move. And I'm going to move over by the table a little bit.
Sure. You move right up next to the table. Mm-hmm. No problem at all. 2 actions for a spell, 1 action to move. That sounds like a turn to me. So we move from Waverly to Ingot.
Yeah, as all of that was happening, Ingot is very tenuously looking down at the oil that he's covered in and moves away from the flames that are coming out of Waverly's hands.
Yeah.
I will say that Ingot is going to take a movement action to back up. So
okay.
Will this provoke an attack of opportunity?
if a creature has a reaction that is triggered by movement, it would make it happen. But this creature does not have a reaction that is triggered by movement, so you move away safely. However, do need to make an acrobatics check before you get out of that square that's covered in oil.
Because I feel like whatever they're going to do next is not going to be great if I'm in that oil. Oh, it's a 3.
Oh, a 3. A 3 is not just a failure, it's a failure. So you actually fall prone in the oil. You're still in the square that you started. You fall prone. When you land, you bonk your head on the stones. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage from a fall.
I was going to say this won't help, but I do have a +2 to shoving or tripping, but it still wouldn't help.
This would not be a situation where that helps you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you do still have 2 actions left.
Okay. And sorry, how much damage did you say I took?
2 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. Well, I'm not going to move. So Ingot, emboldened by what Waverly just did, is going to take one of his frost crystals again and cast Ray of Frost at the one that's right in front of him, hoping to stop anything. Yeah.
Go ahead and make your spell attack.
It will. Okay, a 16.
A 16, yeah, even lying down, Ingot's power is just too much for these kobolds. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so, oops. Oh, that's only 5. He's like on the ground just spraying this frost.
Might be the first time you didn't get a one-shot. Definitely blast the kobold. Maybe it's the angles all wrong. You were caught a little bit off guard. You don't blast it in the face like you were able to so many other times, and this kobold goes down. That is Ingot's turn. So we go to my favorite turn, mine. Kobold next to Gristle is just going to step. Now, normally, Gristle, you have the attack of opportunity that is triggered by movement around you or manipulate actions, but a step is a specific type of action where I only move 5 feet, but I don't trigger reactions. So he's just going to step next to you, and his friend is also going to step next to you, and they're both in a coordinated strike, going to stab with their spears.
I do yell, I told you not to move, you're under arrest!
You are flat-footed, so your armor class is reduced by 2 while you are flanked.
Oh my God. Okay.
Kobold 1 strikes and hits an armor class 17.
Oh, hits. I'm at a 16 now. The
Kobold 2 gets a 17 on the die for a total of 22. So those are both going to hit.
Cool.
The spears come in a coordinated strike. The first one is going to deal 7 points of piercing damage, catching you clean in the side.
Yikes.
At the same time, his companion comes in, and you are going to take only 2 points of damage from that. A more glancing blow as you spin around, reacting to both of these kobolds coming at you like that. That is it for them. No, they still have 1 action left. So yeah, they'll go crit fishing. Why not?
Was that a total of 7 plus what was the other one?
2 was the other one.
2, sorry.
A much less significant blow. They're both gonna take their third action to attack. You're still flat-footed, but they both get under 10. So that penalty for that second attack not working out too well for them. Didn't do good. Gristle. Sorry, not Gristle. Ingot. You've got a kobold standing right over you. It was the one that you put to sleep. It is not happy with having been put to sleep. It is going to stab down at you on the ground. Whilst prone, you are also flat-footed. Sorry, it's clear.
So I'm at a 12.
So reduced by 2, and that is a 12 on the die. So that is not a critical hit, but it is a definite hit. You are going to take 6 points of piercing damage from a stab in the gut.
Ouch.
And he's already there. He's going to take his second action to attack again at a -5, but you're flat-footed. What's going to happen?
I like
that is an
sympathy.
11. An 11 to hit, which I believe you said you were 12.
I'm
so
at a 12.
You barely move your head to the side. The spear clangs against the stone right next to your head. And then rather than just stand there like a buffoon, this kobold is going to back away because he knows Thee's got that bow out and Thee is deadly with it. So he's going to try to back up with his final action and get out of line of sight of that deadly rogue. That'll take us to the final kobold who charges in at Waverly. No longer frightened because at the end of his previous turn, his frightened condition was reduced to 0. So he charges in at Waverly. Stab. That is going to hit armor class 14.
Nope. Fail.
Clangs off the shield with his attack. With his third and final action, another attack coming in, and that is only an 8. So no good on that. Not a bad turn for me, but not a great one.
I like to think they're
round.
fighting on the picnic bench. Like,
yeah. Thee, what do you got for me, my friend?
It was funny watching Gristle get knocked down a peg, but if Gristle gets knocked down, then it's bad for me because then we have to get Gristle up. So I'm going to aim at the one behind Gristle.
Sure.
For a shot. That is a 17 plus 7 for a 24.
24 is a hit. It is not a critical hit because they're not currently flat-footed to you, but it is a hit. So deal that damage.
So that is 4 piercing damage.
4 points of damage. Arrow comes in, thunk, right, it grazes its shoulder, ripping open a gash, blood trickling down. 2 actions left, my friend.
All right, second shot. Let's go crit fishing. 17.
17. That is another hit.
Yes. All right. That is 6 points of piercing damage.
Oof. You didn't get it in 1, but you got it in 2 as you remove yet another one of these kobolds from the world.
Nice.
I'm gonna walk over here just to be closer to Ingot, just in case something goes wrong.
Right.
That's my
and
third
he's still
action.
on the ground, so
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
all right. That will take us from Thee to Gristle.
Thank you for your assistance, Steve. That was very helpful. I'm getting a little beat up over here, if I'm gonna be honest.
You're doing great.
Yeah, I know. All right. All right. And I strike at the little dude behind me. Yes. Or in front of me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There's no real facing. So it's you are considered to be facing. You're basically like constantly moving around and looking about. So you're facing whichever direction you tell me you are.
You can't see it, but I rolled a natural 20. It's very fun.
Hey, that'll do it.
Yay. And I didn't say before I started, but power attack? Power attack?
Well,
I didn't say it.
Gonna hold you to needing to declare it because you're using up actions. So
that's fine.
In this case, it's just a normal critical hit, which will still absolutely obliterate this kobold.
Okay,
but
I
you
shouldn't
won't
get
be
greedy.
rolling twice.
So on a critical hit, what do I do again? I roll my D12.
You're gonna roll the damage twice. It's basically treat it exactly as if you hit twice. So roll the damage and add your bonuses 2 times.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that is 10 plus 3 is 13, and then a 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 30. What?
20.
20? Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you basically you Darth Maul this kobold. It's standing there. Your sword just chops through its middle, and there's a moment where it's just standing there like nothing happened, and then it just slides apart and falls in 2 halves.
Nice.
It is dead. I should have let you use power attack because that would have actually been better for me because you were going to kill it either way, but now you still have 2 actions left.
Right.
Oh, that's right. I guess that one in the corner. Can I get to it? How do I? Yes, I can. I will go. I hop upon the discarded bed, I guess.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna do a regular attack because I have one more.
You've got a regular attack. This is going to be at a -5 penalty, but you can do it.
Come on. Nope, that sure doesn't work. That's 4 plus 8 minus. That's not a lot. That's 12 minus 5, 7.
Hopping up onto the bedding, there was a little bit more give than you thought there would be, and you almost fall, and you're trying to right yourself, and your attack is sort of clumsy.
Meant to do that. Meant to do that. Giving everyone a turn. Everyone, get in here. Come on. Smite
Waverly,
something.
what do you got for me, Waverly?
This kobold just tried to slash at me, and I
Sure did.
narrowly dipped, ducked, dived, and dodged out of the way. So I'm actually going to run toward Gristle and pray this creature doesn't have an attack of opportunity.
Does not appear to have that particular reaction.
Huzzah! And I'm going to use the remaining 2 actions to cast Heal on Gristle,
Very nice.
which gives it 30 feet of range and increases the hit points by 8. So here
That's
we
right.
go. You're going to get back 5 plus 8. 13.
Okay, max out
13.
again. Thank you.
Yeah. The bleeding stops. The pain recedes. You're feeling much your old, fantastic self again, Gristle.
Oh yeah, let's smash. Is that my new thing?
All right. Ingot, it is your turn.
Yeah, Ingot takes notice of how everybody's sort of moving in concert, and as Gristle is taking over the kobold that Ingot was focusing on, he's going to get Waverly's back. So he's going to turn back to face where Waverly was coming from and cast Ray of Frost on that kobold.
Okay. Make your spell attack. So still lying on the ground in this bottle of oil. Just like...
Well, yeah, okay. So that's 16 to hit.
16 does it. You barely managed to get it.
That's 8.
Oh, 8. Max damage again.
Yeah.
You roll a lot of 8s.
Yeah.
This,
I swear.
Blast it in the head, and it is dead.
This is my lucky D4.
You do have 1 action left.
I'll take an action to get up.
Okay, you stand up. You stand up, and that is my turn. My one little kobold. It's all alone.
Oh.
You know, he's backed into the corner. He sees his friends are dead. He's going to stab. He's going to try his best. Who knows? That is a 2 on the die. So he's not doing very well. He comes in. You just knock the spear aside as he tries to stab at you. He takes 1 more attempt at it. Maybe, but even at that -4, that is an 18 to hit.
That meets my armor class. Does that hit that?
Okay,
or no?
that is enough. Yeah, Ty goes to the attacker. So that is going to be 4 points of piercing damage.
All right.
And then with his final action, he is going to try to get away from you, Gristle. He is going to make a hurried retreat.
Well, when
now,
I
a
get
hurried
to
retreat does indeed. So he has a special thing called hurried retreat, which it still triggers reactions, but he will get a bonus to his armor class against the reaction that is triggered, and he gets a little bit of burst of speed. So you can still make it, but just keep in mind that he's going to be a little bit harder to hit than normal.
Well, that's a 23 to hit. So
Oh yeah, it does. It's he was not moving hurriedly enough.
8, 9, 10. That's 11 damage.
Yes. As he flees, you just spin around in a sweeping arc and lop his head from his shoulders. It goes rolling across the ground, stopping at Ingot's feet. There's a moment of quiet as you all sort of catch your breath. All of the kobolds are dead.
Well,
sorry, they've all been removed from
you.
the world.
Thank you.
well, that wasn't our best work, I guess.
Things considered,
we worked well.
Yes, it came together pretty well. Nobody went unconscious.
True.
Ingot is impressed with our teamwork.
Ingot here. And he's going to reach into his satchel and pull out that healing potion that he found a bit ago. This might be good for you. And then Waverly, you can save your magic.
Thank you.
I really liked that cool greasy junk they threw at us. I wonder if there's any more in this trunk. I'd like to go search the trunk for greasy junk. What?
Can I look for traps first?
Oh yeah, do that thing. Yes.
How much does Does the potion, is it 2d8 back?
Potion is 1d8.
1d8.
Yep.
3 points back to Ingot.
There are more powerful healing potions you can get that'll increase the amount of healing, but the ones that you have found so far are the weaker versions.
I'm going to walk over to the chest and I'm going to check it for traps.
All right. So I'm actually going to make a secret perception check for you. So just
Cool.
let me know what your perception
That's a 5.
bonus is. All right. You study it carefully. You saw the kobolds sort of like fling it open to begin with. So you poke it around. You don't think there's anything odd or dangerous here.
Okay.
Inside, there's not a whole lot else. You find there are a couple of more oil vials. You could take 4 more.
All right, Crystal, there's plenty more things in here that you can take. It doesn't seem like it's trapped. Just be careful putting your arm in it because it might eat it.
What? What? You said it's not trapped, so why would it eat my arm?
I don't know. This is a place of strange possibilities.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk past Gristle and look at Ingot and just start like.
Ingot is still trying to get the oil out of his clothing.
I grab all 4 bottles of oil as long as
Okay.
nothing eats me. And
Sure. Yeah, so there's the 4 bottles of oil. You also see there is some other stuff in here. There's about, 6 gold and loose coin.
ooh, loose change.
And you also find another, there is a bottle of a red cinnamon-scented liquid that, of course, every adventurer worth their salt recognizes immediately as a healing potion.
Yeah. Haha, we've hit a nice little treasure trove here. We've got some oil, golds, and a little healing potion. Is it all right if I keep this? I feel like Waverly's really using all her spells on me all day, this whole adventure.
Just here to help.
Yeah. I want to give everyone 1 of the bottles of oil, so we each have 1.
Sure.
There's 4 of them.
Yep. Nice.
All right, in case you guys need to play defense instead of offense, here you go. And yeah, I'll keep this gold for us, and we'll split it at the end, like we said before.
Waverly, how do you feel about people being set on fire?
I mean, when necessary, I suppose, since that is what I did.
Okay. I'm starting to understand you. Necessary.
But
The new
no one
code
takes
word.
pleasure.
A necessary pacification. I get it. I understand.
Well, this is not the only life. I have only sent them to the next. They are on their journey.
We are simply ferrymen. We ferry their souls to a better plane where it's full of fish and shiny.
I kind of thought it was more like we're pushing them in the river and then, hoping they get there on their own.
Maybe
We're doing analogies.
we leave them in a cave and they see the shadows on the wall.
Yeah.
Waverly
then-
kind of slips quietly out of this conversation and just kind of wants to do a little once around the room to see if there's anything else here.
It does not look like there's a whole lot else of interest here. Again, you are noting that there are these necklaces. All the kobolds seem to wear this piece, and you heard them talking about. Boko mentioned like they had hatched. Perhaps these are pieces of egg, but whatever egg was, huge. A and B, very very like made of stone. Perhaps. It's very interesting material that you're working with there. Aside their personal, you find some personal effects from the kobolds, but you're like bones that they like to gnaw on, and I don't know, weird little scrimshaw statuettes of various creatures that are really kind of unrecognizable because none of them are great artists, but they tried. They tried.
Everyone's a critic.
There's an ample amount of fish here. It looks like this is where they were living. So there's plenty of really foul-smelling food. That I mean, at this point, you would definitely take Ingot's brown flavored bars over anything you find in here. But that's really it. There is a passage to the north from here. You don't really see or hear anything down it. You're not sure what lies ahead. Well, you do recall there was also some passages behind you that you left unexplored as you developed your diplomacy scheme.
Uh-huh.
Should we check?
No, go.
Should we check the other places just to make sure there aren't anything that would come up from behind us?
That is exactly what I was going to say. I believe that earlier we did pass a tunnel. Perhaps we should explore down that way.
Ingot is a fan of tunnels.
Smart.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote to go into a tunnel.
Ingot, you were in the oil, correct?
Yes.
You should maybe step in the fountain before we go.
This is a good idea.
Because I don't want you to slip and fall.
That's a great idea. Ingot will take a moment to rinse himself in the mermaid fountain.
Mm-hmm. It's surprisingly frustrating, but because the oil doesn't want to come off in the water,
right.
You got to use the soap that you have in your adventurers pack to really scrub it out. But after a while, you are very wet, but otherwise unoiled.
He'll take a moment to look at the rainbow swirls that are in the water now.
Oh yes.
Does it seem like the purification is happening, or is the water still carrying the oil in it?
That you still see the oil. You're not really sure why this fountain, because you didn't really detect any magic.
Right.
It's really kind of a weird thing. Maybe there's some kind of subtler enchantment here that just sort of keeps things the way they are. But either way, you're not really able to pinpoint exactly why.
Ingot sort of stands up in the fountain and just says, "Ingot is clean now," and hops out.
All righty.
Would any sort of lore or religion be able to understand this fountain better?
You could make a check if you wanted to. I'll tell you at the moment, there's no particular deity that this is a dedication to. There's really nothing. There's no religious significance that.
Okay.
They just wrote in the book that it was really clean. I don't know why. I was sticking to that. And I understand as a player, you really want to know why it's so clean. It's just a book that it's pristine, and it just is.
Yeah.
And why is there a mermaid? It's
right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kobold actually praising a mermaid. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you move back into the first room of this second level of the dungeon where you were sort of fumblingly ambushed, and you note that there was a tunnel to the north here. And as you sort of are looking down there just to get a feel for what's there, you note that there's actually ankle deep water that has sort of flooded this area. Doesn't make any kind of impediment to you. It's something notable.
I think we were going back to examine what we had come from before, right? Not going to the north.
No, so not north from the room that you were just in.
I see.
But you backtrack, and that tunnel that leads from that first room is to the north of that tunnel too.
I see.
It's just there's a split somewhere.
Gotcha.
So you are still currently facing north, but a different north than the other.
The other north.
Yes, the other north. You go to the other north.
Yeah.
There, again, there's some water ahead of you, and it looks like this tunnel is actually going to curve so that eventually you're actually going to be facing east. Do you guys want to declare any exploration activities at this time?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Waverly runs back into the other room and grabs the torch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, you've got the torch in hand.
Ingot will take the search for traps action as we move.
Okay, so you're searching?
Focusing on the tunnel aspect.
Gotcha.
I'm going to scout.
Okay, so scouting means that if you roll initiative at any point, you guys are all going to get a +1 bonus thanks to Fee looking out for danger.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I can't. I'm looking at the exploration actions, trying to decide what I can do. I guess I'll search. Also,
Searching, scouting. Waverly, anything from you?
I'm just following Gristle with my torch.
Just following, providing a
Hoping she
light
didn't
source.
notice.
That is what you.
Hoping she didn't notice Waverly run back into the room to grab it because she almost forgot it.
Nope, wouldn't have noticed.
All right. So you begin making your way through this watery tunnel. And again, the water doesn't it never rises. Like you're not going down into something. It's just like you're just splashing through. And as you move through this shallow, fetid water, this is not the pristine water from the mysterious fountain. This is like foul, smelly water. And you're starting to turn more and more to the east. You notice two things. First, there's a very faint burning smell tinged with smoke in the air, which seems very odd. The second is there is a wavering light up ahead. What do you do?
We stop.
Perception.
You smell something.
Hmm.
Oh,
Chicken?
No, it smells like something is burning.
Burning chicken?
Can we see it?
Again, so I stopped you when you first noticed these things. So if you want to continue further around the curve to see if there's anything up ahead that you could notice, but that's up to you whether you want to.
Yeah, I think Waverly would be very curious and keep going around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are more than able to keep going. I just wanted to make sure if there's anything else you wanted to do anything. All right, so you continue making your way forward, and pretty soon you enter a very strange, mostly dry chamber where you find 3 pulsing, floating orbs in each corner of the room. To the southwest, there's an orb made of brown earth and stone. To the northeast, you see a glassy orb that traps a swirling cloud. In the very far corner, directly across from you, there is a ball of roaring flames. And in the center of the room, a pedestal contains shattered glass, and water flows out into the passage from here. You guess that's the source of the water that you just sloshed through. But as you enter this room, the roaring flames in the far orb flare suddenly, sparks whirling about as something beast-like takes shape.
Oh no.
You can't quite make out the exact form in the dense smoke that surrounds it, but there is no mistaking its angered cry of outrage, and it is time once again to roll initiative.
Ooh, but we get the bonus.
But you do get a bonus thanks to the scouting.
Oh, yay.
This is fine.
+1.
19.
Oh, God. 7, 8.
19 for Waverly.
18, sorry. Wait.
Sorry, 18 for Waverly.
No, 19, sorry.
Okay.
I'm tired.
You gotta pick one. All right.
A 14 for Ingot.
14 for Ingot.
13 for Gristle.
All right, 13 for Gristle.
It just keeps going down. That's a 10 for Thief.
Oh no.
Ooh, a 10
We got
for
caught off
Thief.
guards.
You got caught off guard. Not Waverly, though. Waverly was on the ball, so to speak. You react first, and what do?
I'd like to identify what's going on. I want to know everything about this room.
Everything about this room.
I'll start with the creature, though.
Yes, we're gonna focus on the creature, I guess, first. You can make an Arcana check or a nature check. Either one would be sufficient. Nature. All right. One action to recall knowledge.
19.
19. You have heard of creatures like this. This is some kind of an elemental extraplanar type of creature known as a cinder rat. These things, you do want to know some. I'll give you one piece of information. I'll let you choose. You can know something about its defenses or something about its offenses. What do you want to know?
Defenses.
Defenses. Okay. You know that this creature it has an aura of smelly, smoky fumes around it, and that anybody who is standing next to it can become sickened from the smoke.
Oh.
And in addition, that aura makes the creature continuously concealed.
Ooh.
Now, a concealed creature means that anytime you target it with an attack or a spell or an ability that requires a specific target, you have to pass a DC 5 flat check, which means that before you even attack or anything, you roll on the die. You need to get 5 or higher. There are no bonuses to any of this. And if you fail, then the attack just doesn't work. However, you would still use up the actions or resources to do that action.
Sure.
So it's just a chance that it'll just be completely ineffective because you can't quite pinpoint the creature in this black cloud of smoke.
And then
But that's what you know.
For my next action, I'll raise my shield.
Okay, shields
and
up.
Then I get one more action, right? Recall knowledge is
You
one.
sure do.
Can I recall knowledge about something else?
I think so. I'm pretty sure you could recall more knowledge about the same creature if you wanted to. You could make another check to see if you know more about it.
I would like to understand what these like elemental pillars are.
Sure. That is going to require an Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh, okay. That's going to be a 21.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You would guess that you have entered some kind of shrine. It's not dedicated to a specific deity that you're aware of, but there is a magic that sort of holds these elemental forces in the room. And you would guess that they are designed to grant not worshipers isn't the right word. I don't know what I'm missing here, but people who come and pay respects to the shrine, it is designed to grant them special magical boons. However, it looks like one of them has been disrupted or destroyed over time. The one that the shrine of water has been destroyed, and perhaps this flame one is either a guardian or it has somehow been corrupted to attack anybody who comes near. So.
I'm going to then quickly relay all the information about the cinder rat and to not get close to it. And that's pretty much it. I'll save the magical boons for later.
They don't need to know about all those.
They don't need to know
about
them.
Those are your magical boons.
I like boons.
Alrighty. Waverly, an excellent turn, but unfortunately it is now the monster's turn.
Uh-oh.
And this rat is indeed not happy that there are people all up in its home. So it is going to scuttle forward. I assume Gristle was sort of in the lead. She usually is.
Yeah, we could go with that.
Sounds right.
So, all right, it is going to scuttle up next to Gristle. Now, Waverly, are you usually walking next to Gristle? Is that's sort of how it's been? But I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it gets right up next to Gristle, that means it's also next to you, Waverly. So you are both like this cloud of noxious, smoky fumes like envelops you. You start coughing. You'll actually make your saves on the beginning of your turn, but just know that you are under the effect of its smoky aura. And then it's going to try to bite. It's going to bite. It's going to bite Gristle, I believe. You know, she's the biggest, meatiest target. So here it comes.
I'm delicious.
Jaws snapping. And that's bad. That is a 29.
What the
hell? The most important question is, what is your AC?
Is it?
It's 18.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that makes this 10 above, which is a critical hit. So I'm going to doubles the dice.
Yeah.
This cinder rat chomps right into your midsection.
Ooh.
Oh no. Oh god. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, that's brutal. Okay.
Jim
You
Jam.
take 23 points damage.
Well, I can't because the thing is, I cannot. I only have 20 HP, so that's not good.
Well, the bad news is
I did.
you are dying. And because you got dropped by a critical hit, you actually start at dying 2.
Oh my
So
god.
you are dying 2. The other bad news is that when you get hit by this creature, you actually catch on fire. And catch on fire, you're going to be taking what's known as persistent damage. Persistent damage ticks on the end of every one of your turns. Now, normally, you at the end of your turn, you take the damage, and then you get a DC 15 flat check to just automatically end it. Now, if you are not bleeding out and conscious, you can usually take actions to reduce that DC. Like if you were going to stop, drop, and roll, or you were going to like douse yourself in water, you could either outright negate further persistent damage, or you could decrease the DC from 15 to something reasonable. Usually it's just sort of based on the situation. And you sort of describe what you want to do. And then the GM says, okay, well, I'll give you a bonus, or it'll just outright end the damage. In this case, unfortunately, you are unconscious,
But
so
I
you
can't.
cannot help yourself.
Having a nap.
You're having a nap. However, there is hope, because other people can also take steps to help you. So you can try to smother the flames or splash water on her or whatever.
Roll me
but
into the
it
water.
would be a very good idea to do that too, because if she takes damage while she's dying, she goes down the dying track regardless of whether she stabilizes or not. So it will be very, very important to help Gristle in the coming months.
Sorry, I'm so troublesome, everybody.
No, it's great. That's what the fighter does.
Ingot, it is your turn.
Okay, Ingot's gonna take the moment to roll Gristle into the water that we came in on.
So you just reach down and grab her. She's like on fire, and drag her back into the tunnel.
Yeah, he's gonna
say it'll take you
around to
2
punch.
actions to get her there. And in the water, like the fire goes out in the water, so there's no need to worry about it any further. But you've used up 2 actions to do that.
With 1 action, can I make a medicine check to like stabilize?
Yes, you can. You can make a medicine check. Do not critically fail the medicine
Okay.
check. The DC for stabilizing her is going to be, I believe it's 10 plus her dying condition, so DC 12 generally.
Oh, 14 plus my 15.
Yeah.
Okay. She will not bleed anymore because of this.
Ingot takes out some like bandages and
saved her
salves.
life.
Yeah.
I'm
spent.
Yeah, that is all 3 of your actions. That will now take us to, I believe it's Thea is the only one left.
Does she also need to roll for sickened?
Oh, right.
No, because she got moved out of
good.
She got moved out, so she's no longer in its aura.
Great.
Right. Oh, I planned this ahead. I thought ahead. So I'm going to spend an action to move over to Gristle.
Yep.
As a thief who is also a pickpocket, can I take an action to quickly find the healing potion that Gristle put away?
Nice choice.
And can I use my 3rd action to feed Gristle the healing potion?
Administer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, getting the potion from her would just be 1 action no matter what. So yeah, I mean, with all like that actually all tracks anyway. So yeah,
Perfect.
It works.
All right. So then, Michelle, do you want to roll or should I?
Oh, you roll. You just have fun with it.
That's a 6. So 6 health back.
Yay! Thank
6.
you.
You got 6 hit points. Now, before I had mentioned that I had said that magical healing automatically doesn't give you the wounded condition. I don't think that's actually true. I actually have to go back and check. But if you were restored to full hit points, you would be able to get back. You would not be wounded. Or if you rest for 10 minutes and get a medicine check, then you can not be wounded. But currently, I'm going to say you do have the wounded condition at this point because you were not restored to full hit points. What wounded means is that if you go down again, you start from where you're wounded is. So you were dying 2, so you are wounded 2, which means that if you get dropped again, you would go immediately to dying 3.
Oh, cool.
So it is not safe.
Not
It's
safe.
bad news. It's not safe here for you.
Yeah.
But either way, you're at least conscious and not actively dying, which are the most important things not to be in this particular scenario. The excellent use of your turn. Waverly, it is the top of your turn, and unfortunately, you are starting your turn in that aura, and I need you to make a fortitude save.
You got this.
dude. Okay, that's going to be an 18.
Yes.
Yeah, 18.
An 18 is a failure.
Oh,
You
no.
are sickened 1 from the smoke. You are choking on the fumes. Sickened 1 is going to reduce all of your roll, like basically a -1 to attacks and skill checks and saving throws and any spell DCs. So if you cast a spell, it is actually easier to resist your spells than normal. You can make on your turn, you can actually take actions to basically retch. And what you get to do at that point is you make a new save against the effect that is making you sickened. And if you succeed, you reduce your sickened condition by 1. Otherwise, you'll just remain sickened for the duration of the effect that is hitting you.
Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is move away from this horrible smelling creature. And I kind of want to go over, I don't want to end up in the water with the rest of everyone.
Okay.
So I'm going to wow, I said kind of like 4 times there. Peel off to the side here. And I'm going to look back at Gristle and use up my remaining 2 actions to heal Gristle and hope to get her to fully heal.
That is an excellent use of your actions. 1d8 plus 8.
Yay. Heal me.
Ooh, that's 12.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
All full up, kids. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I'm mathing it correctly, you would have 18 hit points, and I believe your maximum is 20.
Sorry, I'm really bad at math. Do that. Thank you. So what was that again? 18?
So you would have 18. Yeah, not
18.
quite full, but almost. You're doing pretty well compared to where you were. All right, so that was all 3 of Waverly's actions. Now it is this creature's turn, and it's like it sees all of you retreat into the water, and it you can almost like sense this fury, and it sort of like is like at the edge of the water, and it won't step forward. So then it whips its head around, and it does see that Waverly has moved into the room, and it just rushes at her with 1 action, and then tries to bite her.
Shoot.
So Waverly,
that was stupid.
Here it comes.
No. I didn't want to bottleneck.
That is leaner. That is a 14 to hit.
Oh,
you miss.
I missed. I don't like it. I don't
Even
like
with
it.
my -1, you miss.
That is rough. That is rough.
Wait, did I raise my shield?
Yes. You didn't. You used all your action. You moved, and then you cast a spell with 2 actions.
You hit me.
Oh. The truth comes out. Who's the real monster?
I'm being honest. I could have lied.
I would have found out eventually. You're going to take 7 points of fire damage as this creature bites you. It doesn't even have when it bites you, it doesn't have physical teeth that hit you. You just get hit by the flames, and you take 7 points of fire damage, and you're catching on fire. You're going to take persistent fire damage until you find some way to remove it. But remember, that ticks on the end of your turns. So we'll keep that in mind. This creature does have 1 last action left, and it is angry. So it is going to try to bite you again. And that's only going to hit an armor class of 10. So I know that doesn't get Waverly. That's no good. So we will move on from that to Ingot's turn.
Oh, boy. Okay, so Ingot's going to see that happening, and then is going to use... So go with me on this, Jim Jam. He's going to...
Let's go on a journey.
His robes or his packs to sort of scoop up some of this water and essentially carry it over to help put out Waverly. That's the intention.
Okay. You want to try to basically smother the flames.
With water.
I would say that's not quite as effective as just pouring a bucket on her, but I will definitely reduce the flat check by a significant amount. So her flat check, instead of being 15, we'll say it's DC 9 flat check because you're trying to smother the flames.
Copy. So
it's
with that
one action to. I was gonna say one action to wet get everything all wet. One action to move over to her, and then one action would have been spent actually like patting her down.
Okay.
So that would be all 3 of your actions if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
And unfortunately, because you're next to her, you're also next to this rat that just bit her. So when you step up next to her, I do need you to make a fortitude save.
Here we go. A 9?
A 9 means you are also sickened. Sickened 1. It doesn't say there's that. Technically, it's a critical failure, but it doesn't say there's an additional effect with a critical failure. So I'll just say you're sickened 1 flat out.
That's fine.
Okay. This one is not as easy as the kobolds.
Nope.
So we move on
Correct.
to Bristle's turn.
Yay. Hey, everyone, maybe we stay in the water and not hang out in its cool smoke, or farts, or whatever that is. Yeesh. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna draw my bow, but do I have to do an action to put my sword away?
If you want to, you can either put your sword away and have it on your back, or you can drop it on the ground and then it'll be on the ground.
Oh my god, no, I would never do that. I put it on my back.
It's a great sword.
It's a great sword. It's not just good, it's great. Here we go. I draw my I have a short bow. I remember Gabe said something about it has deadly, because I noticed there's a note here, but I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Deadly means that if you critically hit, you roll an additional amount of damage equal to the so if it's deadly D10, you would add a D10 to the damage, but unless you critically hit, it doesn't do anything.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's what it says. Okay, I draw and I shoot. Am I close enough? You sure?
Yeah, you're close enough, and you can see it. You draw the bow. You put your sword away. You draw the bow. You shoot. I need you, because it's concealed by smoke, to make a DC 5 flat check, which means on the die, tell me what you get.
On a D20, dude.
Yeah, D20. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, 12.
12. Okay, so you pass the flat check. Now you can make an attack roll as normal.
Okay.
Ranged attack though, so you're using your dexterity bonus instead of your strength bonus.
Yeah, that's a 14. Does that hit?
A 14 does not hit. So even though you pinpoint the creature in the smoke, you let fly, but the arrow passes right over this creature's head.
Try my best.
Bad news. Bad news bears. Can you turn the tide of this battle?
So how big is this rat?
It's about the size of like a big dog.
Okay. And like, just from a quick gauge, does it look like it's wavering, or this thing looks pretty uninjured?
It doesn't look like it has been injured at all. In fact, you haven't seen your companions do a darn thing to it.
Yeah.
Gristle, should I stay far or get close?
I mean, if you get close, you're gonna get all smoky sick, and it's gonna set you on fire. But if you can somehow avoid that, good luck.
That's true, self-preservation. And I'm just gonna shoot my short.
All right, make that DC 5 flat check.
I think I would also add, hey, should we just leave? Like, if it can't, I mean, maybe we just leave.
So that's a 7, and I look.
7 barely passes the flat check, but it does succeed. So now you can make an attack roll as normal.
Okay. All right. Let's be hopeful here. That is a 26.
Ooh.
That is a miss. I'm just kidding. No, it's a hit. It's not that bad, you guys. It's not that bad. No.
Did you see the fear?
There was fear. I made another ingot food brick.
Gross.
That's a 4 for piercing
4
damage.
points of damage. All right. So this arrow finds its mark. And even though this creature seems almost composed of flame, it does have some kind of form that is struck by this arrow. And it does take 4 points of damage.
All right.
Letting out an enraged roar. That was, I would say, since you had done the potion thing, you would have had to take an action to pull out your bow. But you do have another action because there's 1 to fire and then you have 1 more. So
easy. All right. Then last one. Let's say 15.
15 is not quite gonna do it.
Cool. Good to know.
Wait, no, because that would have been the flat check, because you have to roll the flat check on every attack. So now you can roll an attack roll beyond that. So
Okay, so what's that's better. That's a 17 to hit then.
17, not quite enough, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh,
no.
I hate this
It's
rat.
just a little bit of a miss. You were real close. You could see it almost graze its form, but it barely misses.
You know, Gristle, I'm actually like, I agree with you.
I mean, listen, if it's not going to follow us through the water, we could just leave it and someone else could deal with it.
Retreat is always an option, not one that many adventurers choose, but it is always an option.
I mean, we're here to solve a mystery. I yell into the wind.
Does seem like you've stumbled on something not kobold related, although there are these boons available. Like, wow, is it worth it? Is it not? Does it even matter? Because after Thea, we go to the top of the next round. It is Waverly's turn. Waverly.
Okay.
You are still in the aura.
First thing I'm going to do is move out of the aura into the water.
The first thing you're going to have to do, though, is actually
Is
make
a
a fortitude save because you started your turn in the aura. So
I hear you. Ooh. That's going to be a 7.
7. So you coughing, choking, sputtering on the smoke. You are now sickened 2, which is going to be a -2 penalty to everything. But then you move out of the aura and will not be subject to further sickening unless it comes up.
Question,
Yes.
because I'm not sure if I can do this. Am I able to weaponize create water?
Aha.
Are you able to weaponize create water? The thing about
question.
Pathfinder, it's a lovely game in that it is flexible. You can do anything you want within the bounds of rules. I'm stalling right now to look up create water. So just vamp. Doop-de-doop-de-doo.
I think that
it unfortunately has a range of 0 feet. So I would say this. You can weaponize create water in this specific instance. I would allow it. I think it's a cool way to use a cantrip. However, note that it does have a range of 0 feet, which means you have to be right up in this monster's business to do.
I'm looking at it. It says range is 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels.
Are you looking on Pathfinder 1E, perhaps?
No.
Because in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, on the Archives of Nethys, it says create water, conjuration water, range 0 feet.
What? So, okay. So before I fled, I could have touched the creature.
Theoretically, you would have spent 2 actions and you would have cast that spell.
But it's 1 action to cast it.
Are we looking at we're looking at something different? There is a discrepancy between what we're looking at. What is your source for your spell?
On Archives of Nethys.
What's the?
I'm not distrusting. I'm trying to find out what you're looking at.
Are you highlighted? Is the Pathfinder 1st Edition the one that's like bright and big?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Weird. It's fine. Whatever you say.
Yeah.
I will do it.
It also says it's a 1st level spell, not a cantrip. So that would have been something that you memorized in one of your spell slots.
Okay, then yeah, I'm definitely not looking at the right thing. Ha. Anyway,
it's cool.
We're gonna just go to the water and retch.
We're gonna retch. Let's retch.
Plan B.
Go ahead and make a new fortitude save against the effect.
Great. This is great. Nope. It's an 8.
An 8 is no good. You use up an action, but it doesn't make you any worse. Just doesn't make you any better. So you have 1 action left. You can always just keep trying.
Do it again.
All right, you do it again.
That time it's gonna be a 13.
A 13 is no
14,
good. You
14.
are 14 is also no good. You're just like you move into the water and you're like, but nothing is happening. It is bad news. You feel awful. Also, you're still on fire. Let's not forget that.
I thought you got me. Okay.
He helped you, but he did not automatically douse it. So it's going to happen.
I'm in the water. Dang it.
If you had taken an action to like get down and roll around in the water, yes, but standing in ankle deep water doesn't just douse
We'll
it.
help you. Don't worry.
You take 1 point of fire damage. And then you do get to make a DC 9 in this case because of the help that Ingot provided, a DC 9 flat check to end the persistent damage.
18.
18 is going to do it.
Yeah.
You manage.
I just see Waverly on fire, throwing up in a puddle of water, trying to pat herself down.
Listen, and she's forgetting what spells she knows because she's on fire. Right?
Can't I make
She's looking in the wrong book for her spells. It's a whole mess.
She's throwing the water from the puddle, going, "Create water! Why isn't it working?"
Hashtag fan art, please.
This is all too much for Waverly.
Oh
no. Someone else will go this time.
Right.
The only person next to it is Ingot.
Ingot's gonna make his fortitude.
Yeah,
right?
Well, no, you'll make that on your turn. It's the rat's turn right now,
Okay.
and you're right next to it, and it is mad about, life. It's going to try to remove you from the world.
Sure. It's going to try.
That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
Ooh.
Don't you know?
Dealing 6 points of
I can take 6.
fire damage.
Yeah.
And you are on fire.
No.
Yeah. You are currently on fire, much like Waverly just was.
Yeah.
That was its first action, so it'll go ahead and attack another time. Coming in with a new bite, hitting an armor class of 11.
That won't. Unless I'm like flat-footed or something. No, right?
No.
Okay.
You are all good. I'm just taking penalties for these subsequent attacks. It has nothing else it can do but attack a third time, hoping for that crit. See what happens. With a 12 on the die, which is no bonus because of its penalties. So 12 even.
Nope.
Oh, it misses.
Yes. Not good.
Third time. But you're on fire. So I got that going for me. I got that going for me. And after that, it is your turn.
So Ingot is going to do 3 actions. Stop, drop, and roll. He's going to do the fortitude save.
Okay, so fortitude up.
Oh, no. Maybe he'll just stop at stop because that's a natural 1.
Oh, no.
5 total.
You're sickened 2.
Cool.
However, dropping to the ground, dropping prone is actually a free action. So it doesn't cost you an action. So then you would just use 1 action to sort of roll around. It'll decrease. I'll say that it'll decrease it to a flat check of DC 10 since you're trying to smother the flames. But
I'm
you are
also
currently
trying to
prone.
move.
Okay. Did you want to move first, maybe? That might have been.
I'm going to roll and move.
Oh, you're going to try to roll away. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can basically take an action to crawl.
Sure.
We'll say that's what you're doing. So you drop, you roll, then you crawl away. So you're on that's your second action, and you can put yourself 5 feet away from where you are. You could theoretically roll into the water.
Great. That's the plan.
Which I would say actually just outright smothers the flames. So it actually ends the persistent damage before you even take it. However, you should note you're on the very edge of the water, and the rat could still reach you where you currently are.
Right.
Now he's helping us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was all 3 of my actions, right?
There's 2.
Oh, okay. So, well, on the last one, Ingot's just gonna book it. I guess it would be an action to stand. Yeah. So crawling, I move?
You could roll another 5 feet away. You can just keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Yeah.
You just wouldn't get very far. There you go.
Keep on rolling.
You just roll yourself through the water.
Rolling right along.
Rolling right along.
Yeah.
All right, Ingot. That ends your turn, and you don't take the persistent damage because you smothered it with the water. Gristle, you're up. Things are looking dire.
This is
what
the
do
worst.
you do?
This is pretty much the worst battle you've ever been in, everyone. Is Waverly still on fire?
No, Waverly currently is not on fire.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Everyone's not on fire, right? We're all cool.
Everybody is currently not aflame.
All right, I was gonna do a gristle punch to get someone in the water, but we're good. Okay. I'm gonna stand my ground, and I'm gonna shoot this stupid short bow, and I'm gonna hit it this time. But first, I have to roll the concealment thing, right?
That is correct. Concealment, DC 5, flat check.
Okay, that's a 6.
Yeah, you barely pinpoint its location, and now you can roll an attack roll.
I pretty much see it. It's fine. And that is a 17 plus 5. That's 22.
22, you actually land an arrow
Yes.
in this creature's form. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. It's a 5. That's all I get.
5 points of damage. All right.
Oh, it's plus strength, right? So that's a.
No, because it's a bow doesn't get to add your strength bonus. Thrown weapons do, but the bow doesn't add anything.
All right. 5.
All right. You
Can I
guys
just-
hit it twice. What do you do?
Wait, I get 3 actions. Can I just do that 2 more times? Or
Oh yeah. You absolutely can. It's a successive -5, so -5 on this one, but if on your third attack, it would be a -10.
And I have to keep rolling the concealment thing too?
Concealment on each one, that's correct.
Okay. So concealment, that's a 10, so I pass.
Yep.
To hit, that's a 19. Minus 5 is
14.
Yeah.
Is 14.
That's going to fail. You almost had it, but you're firing so quickly that your aim is just a little bit off and you miss.
Okay, I rolled a 10 for concealment, and then I rolled a 23 to hit.
23 to hit with the -10 penalty.
Oh, sorry. God damn it. 23 minus 10 is, 13, so I did not hit it. I was so excited for like 3 seconds.
All right.
Well, this looks like a hard nut to crack, everyone. I'm cool to, leave if you guys want to, or I don't know. Whatever.
Leave a battle? Oh, that's interesting. Never something I'd ever think you'd say.
Okay, keep fighting. I'll be right here.
It like, Crystal's like, nope. Now the flag is planted. Now I will never move until this creature is dead. All right, Thea, it is your turn.
I'm just
Talks of retreat are flying about. I don't know how Thea feels about that, but
I don't care as long as I never want to even be in the front unless it's to run away. So I'm gonna shoot a bow, and then if we change our mind, I'm dipping.
All right, flat check for me.
All right, that's a 13.
13 passes concealment, so go ahead and roll an attack roll.
That's good. Probably not a critical because this rat is the bane of my existence. But 19 plus 7, so that's a 28. 26. Math.
26. Yeah, 26 is a hit.
Is it 28?
What did you say?
19 plus 7
is 26.
26. Thank you. Yes.
Which is not a critical hit, but it is a hit.
Worth it. That's for 4 points of piercing damage.
All right. It takes 4 points of damage. Arrows just every time an arrow sinks into its form, the arrow burns up, but the creature screams in pain.
All right. I'm going to put in a second arrow. So I'm going to roll
Nice.
see if I can actually hit it. That's a 3. So that'll miss. Just a
Yep. That'll actually you are as the smoke is just roiling around it, you fire a second arrow and it's just like nowhere near this creature. It wasn't quite where you thought it was, so that still uses the action, but you don't
Cool.
there's no chance to hit it.
I'm gonna go for the third one because why not?
Hey, why not?
So that's an 18 for the hiding check, which I
This
wish
time
it was,
you spot its true form in the smoke.
wish that was for a hit. So that's a 16.
A
To
16
hit.
will miss,
Yep, yeah, it'll
unfortunately.
miss. I don't like this thing, but I like it less behind us. Wait, it can't follow us. There's water. Why are we here?
He seems to have put 2 and 2 together and does not like the answer he's getting. Waverly, it is your turn. What do you do?
Wretch.
Okay.
That's a
This game.
15.
16 that's no good.
15.
You are, what was that?
15.
Well, either way, 16 or 15, it's no good. This effect is really, it's bad news. You are not
Again.
able to.
Again.
Okay.
No. Hang on. I'm switching dice for my third action.
Okay.
Nope. It's fine. That's it. Carry on. She's over there.
Waverly's
She's thinking she's creating water. It's fine.
Waverly's just like hands on her knees, doubled over, like, but nothing is happening. It's the worst. Oh, man. this creature, it sees it can't get to you guys. You guys are all in the water. It doesn't seem to be able to get to you. But rather than just stand there and take arrows to the face, it seems to possess a modicum of intelligence, and it will move into one of the alcoves where the orbs are floating, and it'll actually move itself out of your line of sight. So it has taken refuge in the room, but you guys can't just you can't see it. You can't keep plinking away at it unless you either go into the room, which is an option. It's up to you. You don't know what it does for its final actions. It just moves away, out of sight.
It's building more rats, probably.
More rats.
It is now Ingot's turn.
Ingot's going to take an action to get up, and then he's going to move over to help Waverly, and the goal is to everybody get out of here. It's all too much, and Waverly's too sick, but also Ingot is sickened too as well. So
that's true. He is also sickened.
We'll see.
So Ingot seems to be all aboard the retreat train.
A 12?
No good.
No
good.
No good.
Gristle. It seems like Ingot's ready to get out of here. Waverly is just not doing well. She is not looking good. You can't see the rat currently. What do you want to do?
Yeah, you know what? F this rat. I don't care about it anymore. Let's let's regroup. I mean, come on, team. This is not worth our lives to look at some shit. Okay, stop. Do not throw up at me, please. Oh, good Lord. I grab Ingot and Waverly, and I want to pull them back out to where we came in with me. And I just go, V, come on, let's go. We're going.
At that point, all I will ask is, does anybody have an objection to that? Are you all as a group retreating at that point? Or are you is anybody going to try something different?
I respect this rat, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that as a tattoo. Like, Thea's literally thinking about this.
All right. You guys
started so strong.
I know.
Started real strong. I mean, those kobolds, you were just mowing down.
Yeah.
This rat, not happening. It is bad
Not
news.
good.
You all flee back down the tunnel until you are back in the room where you first entered this level of the dungeon. Not certain what to make of what just happened. Perhaps your spirits a little dampened from those initial victories that probably had you riding so high. But the important thing is, and a lesson that many adventurers never learn, is you're alive to fight another day because you took your corridor out and you retreated to safety. What will happen next, whether you'll decide to go back and face the rat, whether you'll just cut your losses and try to find this baby that Boko told you about, we will have to find out another time because we have come to the end of our adventure for this evening. And that is it. Whew. What an episode. Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
It was like 4 whole turns of me not passing a save.
Yeah, it is rough. It is rough. I will say that while sickened it incurs a penalty, it also doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do other things.
Right.
If you wanted to, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but I'm letting you know that, if it just doesn't seem to be working, you could try to do other things and just live with the penalty until it goes away through other means. Because over time, it will eventually just, you're not sickened forever. But either way, that's all stuff for another day because we have reached the end of our adventure for tonight. Before we go, I want to once again thank Paizo for having us and creating this amazing beginner box for Pathfinder. If you guys want to explore the tunnels beneath Otari yourselves, all you've got to do is head over to Paizo.com, order yourself the Pathfinder beginner box. If you're looking for a virtual tabletop to play with friends online, Roll20.net is an excellent resource. We've been using it here on the show, and the Pathfinder beginner box is actually available on their marketplace with everything already set up and ready to play.
Fiery rats and all.
Fiery rats and all. They're already preloaded. We're going to be back here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific for more Troubles in Otari, but there's plenty more Pathfinder and Starfinder action over on twitch.tv/the DAT network. That's the DAT network. You can see our full streaming schedule on our Twitch page, or you can follow us on social media. It's at the DAT network across the whole internet. So anywhere you look for us, if we're on there, at the Net Network. Until then, it has been a blast. We will see you next time. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Oh, I ripped.